The Carolina Panthers in 2023 were not a very good team. They were actually the worst team in the entire league, and the worst part about it is they didn't even have their own first overall pick, trading that a year ago to the Chicago Bears in a trade package to gain Bryce Young. One of the best trade packages ever received by a team, Chicago that is. We'll see what happens in the future for Bryce Young and the Panthers, but the offense in its first year under Bryce Young did not have a good start. And the first thing you're going to be thinking of when you're thinking about Bryce is obviously the comparison between the Panthers and the Texans and him versus CJ Stroud. A bit of an unfair argument as the two teams are not built the same, but obviously there's no arguing Stroud was better, and Panthers fans, whether it's warranted or not, definitely feel a bit nervous. The offensive line, though, for the Carolina Panthers, it looks great on paper here. Obviously, Robert Hunt wasn't here, Damian Lewis wasn't here, but it was not a very good unit. It was what most people would call a quarterback killer. It was definitely an offensive line that needed to be improved, and with Robert Hunt and his expensive contract, sort of Damian Lewis, pretty expensive contract there as well, they've definitely improved the guards, which were very, very bad for them. Tackles, we'd like to see an improvement because these overalls, they're actually not bad. But once again, this offensive line as a whole was pretty abysmal. Receivers, another big problem for this team. The route running was not great. People not getting open, and just in general, I don't know if it was enthusiasm, but the tightness of routes, they just didn't seem good, right? They just seemed lazy almost. Like the receivers outside of Thielen they weren't good. Like, they just simply weren't good. They added a bunch in the offseason with Leggett, and obviously you have Jatavion Sanders here. This is its Vic's class for next-gen Madden. Jatavion Sanders, the route running looks amazing, but the catching's a little lackluster, so is the speed. But we're going to give him a chance. Going to have him at star because his comps and just in general the Madden draft classes we were using all the way up into the draft were always with him having star, so I'm just going to keep it consistent with that. Leggett, maybe you could argue star here as well, but we have him at normal dev. Speed is great. I mean, this is obviously a player that they're looking to early and often. I would say that they're hoping he is like the next generation of good Panthers receivers. And obviously you have Thielen, who was great. They ended up trading for Deontay Johnson, as we know, using Dante Jackson, a longtime Carolina Panther. Very good slot wide receiver. Deontay Johnson is one of the more underrated wide receivers in the league. So that is a definite good addition to a lackluster room. You obviously have Bryce Young himself we'll take a quick look at, who obviously still has superstar in the game, which is definitely questionable at best. Once again, we talk about how the players around him weren't great, but there was still bad reads. I don't think accuracy was necessarily a problem, but the reads were pretty bad. He fumbled a lot. I mean, he seemed like even when he wasn't getting tackled, was just losing the ball. And another interesting stat, I don't know if it was more than this, but I believe he threw 3 pick sixes last year, which I know I always talk about him even though he's not on the team anymore, my favorite team. He already almost has the same amount of pick sixes thrown as Aaron Rodgers does, which maybe it means nothing, maybe it means something. That's kind of a crazy stat to think about, just when you compare the ages of the two. And then, of course, you look at running back Jonathan Brooks, versatile and dynamic. And in general, while Chuba Hubbard wasn't bad, it adds to the running back room quite a bit, obviously. It is a much better running back room now, and I don't think there should be any problems. Obviously, Miles Sanders did not live up to the quote-unquote hype. Most people thought he wouldn't. We're going to see that again potentially with the Bears this upcoming season with DeAndre Swift. The difference is, though, the Bears, that second half season, I don't know what it is with these NFC North teams. Even the Packers are a part of that. The second half of the season during years that aren't supposed to be anything are impressive. The Bears' run block unit was actually pretty damn good win rate-wise, and maybe it won't actually be a fair assessment. Maybe DeAndre Swift will kill it, but that was not the case for Miles Sanders going from the Eagles onto this Panthers team. He was just terrible. He looked so bad. So long story short, don't grab Eagles running backs because you don't have the line to complement him. And then the last player I wanted to mention was Jonathan Mingo, who realistically should be wide receiver 1 here because of the upside, but I don't think I have a spot for him. Like, do I move Thielen out of the starting lineup after the season he just had? Like, at what point are we arguing realism versus smartness, right? Like, I don't know about realism, how the lineup's going to go, but a smartness, if you will, especially since Mingo is still considered a rookie here, would be to start him. Adam Thielen, I mean, he's not a bad number 2. I'm going to do it. Our last rebuild, I'm pretty sure I did this the realism thing. Had Thielen at 3, Deontay at number 4. I'm going to have Thielen as like a rotational guy. I'm going to give him the rest he deserves, and instead of thrusting him out there as the number 1 wide receiver like the Panthers did, he's going to be the number 4, which I know it's quote-unquote unrealistic, but this receiver room has potential if we don't waste their youth. That's basically all I can say about that. And then defensively, Clowney should be higher than this. Clowney was actually really good last year. We have Trevin Wallace, another guy that's been consistently star dev throughout all of the CPU or the user-created classes leading up to the draft that we've seen. Smith-Wade was as well, but I feel like he's a little bit less of an argument to be star. Derek Brown should be a higher dev. J.C. Horn, I think, is fine. Xavier Woods should be a higher dev. There's some individual players on this defense that are actually not bad, but I will say interior, we need improvement. And then, of course, edge. Clowney's great, but how long will he last, especially in a Madden rebuild situation? And then, obviously, Wanham, we need a new outside linebacker. As far as, how this defense played, it was apparently a really good pass defense team. Struggle a little bit on the ground. But as far as going into a Madden situation here, looking across the board, left guard needs to be replaced. Center needs to be replaced. Right tackle needs to be replaced somewhat soon. And then wide receivers will have to wait and see. But I like Mingo at least. Leggett, we'll see. We'll see if he could develop quickly or not. And then defensively is where the majority of the work is going to be done, which is ironic because we talked about how their offense was their biggest problem. But yeah, safeties, pass rushers, 1 linebacker minimum, DT, technically a left end, and then potentially a corner. There's a lot on the defense that needs to be replaced, but when you have that quarterback that hopefully can be the franchise guy, which I haven't really paid attention too much in our 10-year rebuilds of how Bryce Young performs, but that throw power worries me a little bit. I know that the sim seems to enjoy the throw power high guys, so yeah, we'll see what happens there, but year 1, if we can get a dev up or 2 for a receiver, the receiver group, I think that would be massive. And of course, with the youth of Jonathan Brooks, if he gets some dev ups early on, he might actually be here this entire 10-year rebuild. And speaking of being here for the whole entire 10-year rebuild, if you guys end up enjoying the video, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you are new. We do a ton of franchise stuff. I have no idea when this is going to be uploaded. This is going to be uploaded before or after College Football 25 content, but that'll obviously be a thing. At some point, it could be moved to a new channel. If I do make another channel, we'll see. But obviously, as far as this channel goes, a bunch of Madden. And if you're not new, I do appreciate continued support on the channel. That's about it. Let's get into this tenure. As far as our scheme goes, we have the Steelers on defense, and then we have the Buccaneers on offense because that's where he last coached. You definitely could argue, though, that it would make more sense to go with a Seattle playbook, but the problem is I haven't actually used Tampa's playbooks this year that much, so I definitely want to take a look, see how it goes, and if that doesn't work out, we'll maybe go to the Seahawks because obviously a lot of Pete Carroll influence, and you would assume that that would make the most sense as far as, trying to do a new scheme, because otherwise it's Frank Reich, and, it's just not the team anymore, really. All right, 41 million, negotiations. Righty. I mean, not really much going on here. We got a 5th-year option coming for Horn, and normally I don't look at that, but at 8 mil, it might be worth taking that 5th-year option instead of paying him 20 per right away. So, we'll see. So, is this allowed? We're having a crazy good season right now with the Panthers. We just went 13-4 and took the bye week. The first seed in the NFC. Of course, would not have been good enough in the AFC, but I'm going to show you. The Buccaneers scheme that good? I've seen Baker put up, MVP numbers sometimes, but that's about it. Like, the Buccaneers literally disappear in these rebuilds. I never see them. They never do anything. So I don't know what's going on, but we'll definitely take a good season out the gate. I don't think the Panthers are going to be 13-4 in real life. Maybe it was just a really easy schedule and the Panthers just blew it last year. Because I will say, even though it wasn't a good year, they were far from just losing every game 40-0. They actually did compete. It's just they didn't win many of those games, if any, really many at all. Bryce Young, obviously, touchdown to pick ratio is pretty good. Yards are decent. Rushing, Brooks is a rookie, especially in a Buccaneers scheme, which you don't expect the run game to do that well, was very good. Like I said, as a rookie. Leggett, 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, could be superstar dev. We might actually have him developing here. That would be amazing to see. Blocking, the right guard was amazing. The contract decision makes so much sense there. Damian Lewis could go up in dev because of his 0 sacks allowed. Sacks on the defense. Clowney was great. Brown was pretty good. Wanham was amazing for his overall. This was a great year. I mean, even Smith-Wade was, 3 interception. Eddie Pinheiro was decent. Hecker was pretty good. This is one of the shocking seasons. One of the most shocking seasons I've seen. Will we do much more than, just making the playoffs? I don't know. Leggett almost won Offensive Player of the Year, let alone Rookie of the Year. Obviously, he'll win it over a quarterback, which is impressive. Defense Rookie of the Year, Wallace at number 4. Best quarterback at 5. Best running back at 9. Best wide receiver at number 1. Best O-line at number 1. It was Damian Lewis. I am very disappointed that it wasn't Robert Hunt. Oh, that sucks. But, hey, a dev up's a dev up. I can't believe Robert Hunt didn't get it. But the guard, additions that they made apparently are going to be elite. Derek Brown at number 5, Clowney at number 1, and linebacker DBs at 9 and 10, kicker at 8. This was a hell of a year. This is easily our best sleeper/unexpected season, which I guess is what sleeper is. But yeah, what a year. It really was amazing. But we had to play against the Eagles. They're another team that really doesn't show up much after the first season or two because the salary becomes such an issue. The salary cap just dies. End of game. 7-0, 7-7. Maybe this Panthers team is ready. I don't freaking know. They're competing. I mean, we're up 14-7 at halftime. The Eagles aren't going to go away, though. We're going to bounce back 17-14. One touchdown could do it. Up by 6. And unbelievably, the Eagles with the final drive, the final moments of the game, end up winning. That sucks. That really is not good. Bryce Young wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. Brooks was definitely not very good. Sanders was great. Clowney with 2 sacks. Interception for Rodgers. And a very disappointing last-second choke, really. But it does suck, and they were 8 and 9. But it does suck going as high as we did, 13 and 4, in a year like we just didn't expect to be this good. So definitely stunting the growth of this team through the draft a little bit. You're expecting another top 5, top 10 pick, and we would actually have our own top 5, top 10 pick for once. But nope, not going to be the case. Eagles, thankfully, honestly, realistically, ended that early enough for us, so our draft pick isn't completely crap. Because I don't think that was there a chance we could have won the Super Bowl? Maybe. But I just didn't see it. I'm honestly surprised we got to where we did. Positionman, no, he retired. Andy Dalton's gone. Jansen's gone. Feels a little early for Dalton to go, but he's gone, so no mentor quarterback there. Let's take a look at the dev-ups we had. We should have wide receiver, dev-ups to superstar. Great stuff there. Bryce Young was already superstar, obviously. Looking at the defensive side of the ball, Clowney obviously went up in dev. Derek Brown went up in dev, which is great. And then Smith-Wade doesn't go up in dev, which is really disappointing because I thought he would have won him. Probably should have went up as well. But these are the dev-ups we have. Edge is a huge problem, and I don't know if we're going to be able to land edge with the pick that we have, but I will say, with Leggett doing what he did, we don't need wide receiver as much, if at all, at this point. Thielen's still here, which is a little disappointing, but yeah, I mean, that is what it is. We'll see what kind of contract he has in real life, because there might actually be, an out a lot of the time. You can only do so much, but if you're really against the money, you can, in my opinion, and it's still realistic, get rid of that contract. If it's, let's say, Thielen's making $15 million in 2024, whatever it is, I don't think it's that much, and he doesn't have a contract for 2025, technically we would still be under contract with him this year because it's not 2025, even though we're about to play the 2025 season in this rebuild. It's just, I can't accelerate it by a year. I wish I could. It'd be really cool if you could, not change the overalls or the age of the player. Not change the overalls at all, but just the age of the player and their contracts and what year it was. That'd be great, but obviously they don't have something like that, and they probably never will. Not because it's too hard to do, but because it is a very specific thing that not everyone really would care to have. It's really a late portion of Madden type of thing, like when you're past January, February. So obviously it's a very specific thing to see or want. As far as negotiations go, why would I pick up the 5th-year option here? $15 million when that's probably what he's going to be asking for, 15 to 18 per year. If I wait a year, that could turn into 20 mil per year, and the $6 mil savings that we might have made, or whatever, $3 mil savings, just wouldn't be worth it. So obviously, we're going to skip on the 5th-year option, give him a long-term contract, he'll maybe even retire a Panther if we're lucky. Let's go to free agency where, you know, the first couple of years in a 10-year rebuild, you have a chance to maybe spend a little bit of money. Don't want to spend too much, but if there's somebody that just can't be missed, I mean, we'll do it. Amari Cooper would be maybe one of those guys, but probably not. Corner, I'd like to develop, the guys we have, if not draft someone younger. So realistically, I don't imagine there's going to be anyone here. You know, there's not even like a decent edge rusher, which would be another position of need for us. But yeah, that's basically going to be a nothing burger from free agency, in my opinion, and we are going to move on to the draft where hopefully we find an edge rusher. Also, I know we played well in a 3-4, but I am absolutely changing this team to a 4-3. It's just the way the game is. 4-3s are so much better on average than 3-4s, and right now I have nothing really keeping me in a 3-4. Our interior linemen are bad. We have debatably better linebackers than we do interior. So you move Derek Brown to DT, you move Clowney to left end, and then I don't really care too much about Wanham because I don't really want him. I'm going to get a replacement line pass rusher, I hope, in this offseason. And maybe we won't be completely crap on defense for once. We'll actually have a 4-3 defense, and it'll be good. This is just one of those Madden things more than anything. This hasn't had nothing to do with real life. Whatever works in real life, it's just a complete Madden thing. Plus, I suppose Clowney probably will go up in overall. He's 83 overall and turns all the way up to an 83 overall. Here we are entering the draft. We have pick 28, so I guess that didn't really change too much anyways. Pierce goes number 1 overall, Travis Hunter number 2, and Perkins number 3. We really want a pass rusher, but there's a lot of different needs we have. So I'm still going to slow sim it just to give ourselves the best opportunity to make a trade up if we need to. But as far as, what we could take it at 28 or, late anyways, there's options. There's definitely options. Corners up there. Still could take a wide receiver. Probably wouldn't, though. O-line, maybe if we see someone we really like. Because once again, in these user classes, Sawyer would have been a great choice. These user classes, you don't see offensive linemen that are great past really the first round for the most part. You see the Chiefs go with a tight end. And I think there's still some pass rushers here, so I am just going to keep letting it go down. And we're going to go best available. We also have pick 9 in the second round because the Rams selection is what this team owns. And that's about that. Wide receiver, once again, still an option, but probably not something we go with. Tight end, throw it on the list, but probably not something we do either. Edge is by far the biggest need. The question is, do we feel the value is worth it here? We have Johnny Walker. I don't think I've ever drafted him. Uman Mielen we've drafted a couple of times. Hasn't really worked out for us, though. You have Unkanlola, and you also have Burke, who, kind of worked out, kind of didn't. We have Trey Moore, I definitely don't think we ever went with. And then do we have a right outside linebacker? We don't. So I think we're going to be looking at the first rounders, and then if worst case scenario comes up, maybe we go Burke. Looking at Trey Moore, though, 6'3", he's elite, A to C finesse, but he is a pass rusher, so I imagine that isn't a bad situation to go to. I would say so. 20-year-old, a little right end, great speed. The only problem is a bit on the raw side, right? B, power move, don't really know much about that. And then we, of course, have Johnny Walker, who's also, a B finesse, A tackle. Looks good, really athletic. Even though he's 22, I'm kind of liking it. 9 more seasons, he'd be, 31 years old? That's fine. I'm not really worried too much about the 10-year aspect. Johnny Walker I kind of know the most about, right? Because he's the fastest and he's an A tackle. So I'm going to go Johnny Walker, who is hidden dev. Can't remember if we ever went with him. I usually remember these things, but I don't think we did. Of course, moving on to pick 9 in the second round. Not sure what we want to do here. Our next pick is very far away. So realistically, if we don't love a player here, we could trade down to the third and, add an extra draft pick. The problem is, if you're going to go O-line, which, I'm thinking about it, you kind of need to take that position now. DT is definitely a need as well. We have so many different guys. Farmer, Cross. We actually have a lot less guys than I thought. I was like, we have a bunch of guys. Oh, we don't. I lied. What about a Morion Walker? He's got B in man coverage, B in zone coverage. He's still here as a 1-2, 21 years old, 6'3". Yeah, I'm taking a Morion Walker. Normal dev, but the potential's there. The potential's there. I want a cornerback that I think can definitely be a boundary guy. Smith Wade looks better as a slot, I'd imagine. So even though he's normal dev, I still don't hate it. Wide receivers. Like, Buka's there, but I don't think he's even supposed to be outside of the first round, let alone the second or later. As far as O-line goes, a lot of these guys we've had before, and we know they're not hidden dev. Ratledge, I don't think I have, though. So I'm kind of debating on going for, like, Ratledge here. And we also debatably could have two pass rushers, because we need... Do I not trade up and grab CJ Parker after we take this lineman? Because I think the value of lineman is pretty damn good. Linebacker we could just live with. I'm not too worried about it. So I think I'm going to go with... Do I go Tate Ratledge? 22 years old, 6'6". Don't really even need a lineman just yet, but Damian Lewis could slide to the center spot, and then we move Ratledge to left guard. Either way, I'm going to take him. Normal dev, really disappointed at 92 strength with all those ratings, but hey, normal dev, it is what it is. Let's go to the next round. And then if I see other players, maybe I'll just go slow sim until we're down to one pass rusher, but I would like another one, as Clowney is definitely on the older side. Yeah, I like Batty. So Batty... Parker, we could even wait here for... I mean, we even got Patrick Payton. Yeah, let's just sim it and wait until we're down to, like, one guy. If we even need to trade up at that point, we might actually be able to just sit at 28. As Patrick Payton already goes. We traded a 6th round pick to move up to 107 with, ironically enough, the Texans. And with that selection, we're going to be going with Batty. We have the first pick in the 5th round. I'm not really sure why that's the case, but that is, we're going to go all the way down here, grab Batty, and... Maybe a linebacker with that next pick. Batty looks pretty athletic. Normal dev. 82 speed, 83 excel. We got ourselves at least backup talent and also potential, if we can't find a better pass rusher going forward, a replacement for Clowney if he's gone after the season, which I'm not 100% sure yet. Linebackers, any of them at all. Penn? We got a bunch of them, actually. Stewart, I think, is a pass rusher, but... Haven't gone with Bruner, Barton, or Penn, I don't believe. I think we've seen Penn before, but we've not used one. It's a really bad joke. Barton, Lander Barton. I'm not even going to look at the rest. 88 speed, 20 years old, 6'4". Might even give him a chance over Jewel, especially if Jewel needs a contract and shouldn't be on the team still. I can save some cap there. Final draft pick potentially here in the 5th round. Do I go with one of the tight ends just to have some depth? I think Jatavion Sanders will be fine. I know Dellinger is star dev, but I feel like knowing that is kind of like, we already got a corner, but Bryant is pretty good value. So it'll probably come down to Bryant, who is really slow, stealing Dellinger anyways, or taking one of these tight ends if they're decently fast, which I'm pretty sure they all are. All right, Knee Black is really fast, so I'm going to go Amari Knee Black, 86 speed, 88 excel. We have tight end depth. Could have argued going with a different position, but I'm fine. I actually really like that draft class. The only thing I would have done better that I've kind of like completely whiffed on is the DT position, but I suppose we need less players there now that we're going to be moving to a 4-3 anyways. Got our edge rushers, so yeah, I would have loved to do a little bit better at the DT spot. I honestly kind of just forgot about it. After we grabbed that cornerback, I just completely forgot. But Walker, automatic starter, obviously. He has upside that none of the other edge rushers do. Finesse is a little low, but let's take a look at that dev. I'd imagine only star, but even that's still great. Number 55, why not? Star dev, is it right end we need? I think it's right end we need. Move over to right end. Amorion Walker, automatic starting number 2 corner, just because the upside of being a 6'3" corner. Doesn't take much. Smith Wade at the number 3 spot fits better, and in general, the dev up chance for him is actually higher, because the slot corners, we see those guys dev up all the time. And then Barton is a 72 overall, probably going to find himself as a starter right away. Coverage isn't the best, but he's pretty decent at it, and obviously very good at block shed for a rookie. I think it's right out we need there, so we'll put him there. And I guess we'll look at Knee Black and Batty. Knee Black, 77 catch, and, a little bit raw on the route running, but very fast, and definitely if he had to, could develop still. Tyler Batty, the backup, left end. Good power move, just doesn't have that hidden dev. Very similar to Walker, just doesn't have the dev and a little bit slower, obviously. But not our best draft in the world, but we did have pick 28 unexpectedly, and even though we had pick 9 in the 2nd round, it's still, for the most part, on average, a very late draft pick for the most round, the important rounds. There was one other player I wanted to look at. I know this is a user class, so it's kind of like getting, and intel for the future. I don't want to click anything, though, because I'm trying to think of who the hell it was. Yeah, I don't know. I guess not. Screw it. We are going to the next year. Here we are with the Season 2 roster, the offensive line. It gets weird because Damian Lewis is not a guy I expected to stick around long term, but Superstar Dev It makes things interesting if he plays well again. I mean, how can I ever really replace him offensively? Mingo, I like, but Deontay Johnson is significantly better of an overall. And I think with him being superstar, it allows me to keep him as the number 2, I think. And Mingo at number 3. Mingo didn't really go up in overall that much anyways. And that's going to be the story, I think. As far as the defensive side of the ball, we're hoping Walker can develop. Crumedy is going to be the DT2. Definitely need to replace him. Linebackers, we'll see what happens with Barton. Thompson will probably be replaced soon. Walker, we're hoping for a dev up. And then safeties are not getting any younger. I know Fuller's not old, but he's also not in a position to really develop super quickly or super well. So we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, definitely Xavier Woods needs to be replaced. But despite having a late draft pick because of an unexpected playoff season, we should still be in a pretty good spot after that draft. That draft was still not bad for how late of a pick we had. $138 million. Obviously, Derek Brown gets a contract, even though I think he already has one in real life. I think I forgot to do that in the last Panthers rebuild we did, but Horn will get a contract. Deontay probably gets a contract. Thompson, we'll see. And Smith-Wade obviously deserves longer than that because he's a rookie. But yeah, everyone else may be on their way out. And there you go, Morion Walker. It took a long time. It's near the end of the season, but gets the dev up, but gets the 10K XP. Totally worth it in the end. Here we are, playoffs again, no matter what. Not as good of a season, but it's still really a good one, especially since we didn't expect to make the playoffs at all in this rebuild. Well, not all. Let's take a step back. Not at all, but not early as we have. And here we are, back to back. With those playoff wins, or berths, I should say. Can't really say wins, but you don't know. We might win again. Wildcard round should be fine enough. But let's take a look at this season. Obviously still running the Buccaneers offense. And a much better, wow, Bryce Young. I don't know if there's thresholds for quarterbacks as well. Maybe it needs to be 80 plus, but that is a vast improvement despite being in the same scheme. 38 touchdowns of 4 picks with 3,900 yards is insane. Brooks was even better. Receiving, Leggett. Leggett. No, it actually is Leggett. I was right. What am I? I don't know, dude. I need some more sleep. Deontay Johnson was great. Mingo was all right. Sanders was okay. Blocking, Lewis was worse, but he's still really good. Aquanu was not great. Moten was. And then, ironically enough, we moved to, well, I guess Clowney was great, but we moved to a 4-3, and things get a little wild. DT2 is definitely the best way to dev up with this scheme. DT2, which we're going to need a new one. Unless our boy John actually got himself a dev up with that, which could have. Picks were low. Kicking was bad. We need a new kicker. Punter, he's not bad, but he's obviously regressing because he's an old man. We look at yearly awards. Bryce Young's number 4. Oh, yeah, where's CJ Stroud, huh? Do you see CJ Stroud? I don't. Because Bryce is better. That's how it works. That's what I'm sticking with. Any dev-ups? Clowney, probably another dev-up. The man, he does so well in Sim. But he's so low of an overall. Well, not low of an overall, but he's so not goated of an overall, and he's normal dev out the gate at 30 years old. Can't do anything. Can't do anything about it. You just have to accept that your best edge rusher for the entire rebuild is going to be gone shortly into it. And don't get me wrong, someone will have a higher overall than him, but I don't know if they'll ever have more sacks than he has had so far. But speaking of so far, this game's gone very well so far. 21-7. Into halftime, could have been even more, but we kind of blew it a little bit at the end there. But into the fourth quarter, this game is still open. We've seen the Giants move down in the field. They just couldn't score points, and our defense is going to allow us to hold on. As you can see, the numbers weren't really that spectacular, but Bryce took care of the football. He did enough, and we did have 2 rushing touchdowns. So, it would have been a 3-touchdown passing game with those accuracy numbers and yards. That's fine. Brooks, though, in the playoffs, not really that good. Look at Xavier. That is what I'm talking about. Leggett is killing it. And as far as the defense, Clowney's that guy. Wallace with a pick. And we win the game by 14. Heading on to the divisional round. All right, who are we going to be facing on in the next round? Anyone but the Cowboys. The Niners. Okay, the whole anyone aspect, maybe, maybe we throw that away a little bit. I'm also thinking, do I want to keep watching all of these games after we win a Super Bowl? I think after we win a Super Bowl, we might just sim. I don't know if you get a better chance of winning them when you're actually going in, which, our history so far has kind of told us that's the case, but to get these 10-year rebuilds down in time, which have been ridiculously long, I think we have no choice. After at least, if we win a Super Bowl, we have to sim. Like, we have to sim these playoff games. Like, hell, we might even have to sim even if we don't win a Super Bowl because they take so long and you're not guaranteed a Super Bowl. Usually with these rebuilds, outside of, our more recent one, it's usually until week... Wow, look at this upset, by the way, while I'm yapping. But it's usually like or year 7 that we win our first Super Bowl. So that's a lot of playoff games to be watching when we're not even making the Super Bowl. But, hey, that could be irrelevant here as if we're able to beat a team like the Niners in pretty damn convincing fashion. I do not see why we can't do it again against maybe even potentially a lesser team. To the championship round. How we looking? Okay, well, it's the Cowboys. So even though they're a lower overall, they're obviously a team that we fear more. Going to the end of the game, the Cowboys drive it down for 3. We drive down for nothing. We get the stop. We drive down again. This time we get 3, so it's a 3-all halftime score, which for us is definitely a win. You know, we want to keep that score as low as possible because the Cowboys are capable in sim of a lot of points. The problem is, the Cowboys have limited us to basically no points, which right here, it's for all the marbles, 3rd and 6. I don't know what they want. I mean, why wouldn't you blitz 5 wide? Okay, maybe I know why you wouldn't blitz, but it's too late because I've already decided. I'm going to go against the tight end. And we're in good coverage. Unfortunately, CeeDee Lamb is not being covered by Smith-Wade. I don't know why we wouldn't have best on best, but I completely forgot to change that manually. The game is kind of dumb for not doing that. And the Cowboys are going to win 17-10. Pretty disappointing as we came very close to winning the Super Bowl there. Not maybe winning it, but you beat a team like the Niners and the Cowboys. You feel pretty good about your chances, at least making them, obviously. Bryce Young, 179 yards, 84% completion percentage. Maybe playing it too safe, or maybe just elite defense. Because, the accuracy's there. It's just the wins haven't fully been there, which we've done better than we've expected. Like I said, we've done better than we've expected, but when you get into these positions, you're like, okay, well, what's stopping us then? If we're good enough to make it to these situations, surely we're good enough to win them. So maybe the expectations, because of overachieving, are a bit higher than they should be, to be honest. But that's how it goes, isn't it? You give someone an inch, they take a mile. Or if you're my ex-wife, you get an inch. I don't have an ex-wife. These are jokes, by the way. I'm sad. I don't know how I feel about being old enough to actually have an ex-wife, though. That scares me. But, yeah, no luck yet. She's still with me. Adam Thielen retires after 12 years. Blaine Gabbert's retired after 14. Rest my son. Adam Thielen deserved a ring so bad, but unfortunately couldn't get it to him. The Cowboys win by 6 over the Bills, so basically we were Super Bowl runner-ups. That's how that works. Offensive DevOps not existing. Bryce Young not going to Dev is kind of a scam, but at least we can argue he deserves Superstar, which he has, obviously. Clowney not going to Dev, really scam. Crumity not going up in Dev is a scam. Barton goes up in Dev, probably deserved, I would imagine. Did he win Rookie of the Year? I don't think he did. He just got it from playing, I guess. But, yeah, upside is there, and I'm glad he got the Dev up. 126 tackles, 8 tackles for loss. Should do it, and it did. Once again, though, Bryce not going to Dev is a little surprising. A little bit, just a tiny bit. But here we are, re-signings. I think we had Corbett, but that's about it. I also want his name to be Corbet, but it's not, and it really kind of makes me sad, I ain't going to lie. 109 mil, so money is not a problem. It's just who do you want to keep. 5th-year option for Aquano could actually save us some money, but I think we're going to pay him. We're going to pay him right away. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's very, very rare that 5th-year option is ever going to be used by us because the contracts don't work the same way they do in real life. Real life, there's a set market, and it doesn't really matter too much. As if they're playing well, it doesn't really matter too much when you're paying them. They're going to get top dollar, so you might as well extend it for that 5th year. But in this, the lower overall they are, the cheaper they are. So obviously you play into that a little bit. And, yeah, that's about it. Nick Bolton, great linebacker. Man, I would love to sign him. 25 years old. We'd have our linebacker forever. I don't know if I kept... Wait, did I not keep... I'm pretty sure I actually did keep Shaq Thompson. I was pretty sure I signed him to a 1-year 10, though. I'm a little surprised he actually took that. I really like Nick Bolton. Do I pay him, though? That's the question. He could be here for, literally ever. Other teams want him, too. I don't want to pay too much for a linebacker, though. Been having some success with linebackers. We had the highest offer on him. It's a little over 17 per. I mean, right now we have no one to pay, but we obviously know that at some point we will. And I don't know if I'm willing to spend that kind of money, am I? You know what? I don't even know if I really need him, to be honest. If you're replacing Shaq Thompson this year, I'm going to save the money. It's going to be a problem in the future. Let me look at him one more time. I just want to see. I want to see what he's doing. God, he's so good, though. He's got so much potential. Nah, I'm going to pass on him. I'm going to pass on him and save some money. So we sort of need edge rusher. Clowney could definitely rock one more year, but there is a really solid edge rusher that I don't think we'll be able to get up to, but I am really interested to try and get there. Eddie Lowry, he's 6'2", he's 269, but look at those ratings. I can't guarantee he's generational, but if I had to make a pretty educated guess, I would say yes, he is. With the speed at the size and the A with the, A and the other A, I would say he probably is, but I also don't know if it's possible to get him. I also like Amari Albert. He's kind of like a hybrid type. He's definitely slower, but could still play on the edge. Looks really good. I think this is a little too high to get up to, but if they're both sitting there at 10, I will be making a decision. I will be thinking about it. I'll be trying to get up there, but realistically, I don't see that happening. Yeah, Lowry went number 3. If Albert makes it to 10, that'd be a miracle at this rate, and I just don't think that's going to happen. And you can see he is still there. Oof. I mean, we'll see. It's going to be costly, but if it's possible, I might do it. We'll see. So they would want 29 this year, a first and a second next year with a third this year, or Ikemakwanu and Deontay Johnson. I wonder if it's possible to do less than that. Probably not. Wait, why do we not have our own second? Oh, that might be a real-life thing, actually. I don't know when that's owed, but I'm not going to change it, because I would imagine we were owed to give that up at some point. Or maybe we weren't, actually. Maybe that's why the Panthers traded down to get that Rams second-round pick. That might be actually what that was, huh? We could actually make this trade here, no? This looks like pretty close. Do we have any, players? I mean, they said what they wanted. If I have what they want, I'm going to give it to them. I doubt they want Jewel, but I'm going to throw them on the list. They took the bait. I don't care. I'll give it to them. I'm owed that second-round pick, though. I want that thing back. All the way to pick 10, we needed a safety, but I will say the safety room is pretty bad. Oh, wait, they're not bad? Wait, they're both round 1 projected? Wait, hold on. I didn't know this was a thing. We also have Gentry. I should not have made this trade up. But you know what? We're already here. Even for the first season, Albert's big enough to probably play DT2 for us, so I'm going to grab him. I think the value's there. I have made a generational sell. So I'm not exactly sure what to do here, because yes, we got our second-round pick back from what we've deserved, but we need multiple things. I think Rutledge could be the center for this upcoming season, or somebody could be the center. I mean, I don't care who exactly, as long as it's one of them. And we ignore O-line for one more season here, potentially. And I don't know what we want to take, because linebacker we actually don't need, since Shaq Thompson's fine. But safety we do, but I don't like any of these other choices. I really don't. Maybe Mikkel, maybe Lorenzo Brock, but I think both of them are a bit on the slower side. I guess Mikkel we'll probably go for in day 3. Probably have to trade up for him. Maybe we'll go offensive lineman after all. Wide receiver's kind of on the list, but it's not a must-have just yet. So at this point, I guess we'll take best available. I wish it would have fully allowed me to scout Randolph. I scouted him further because I liked him. I think Randolph is the best bet to be a hybrid type, though. I don't know if he's actually built to play center, but the best hybrid we got here, I think, in my opinion. He's 6'5", 310. He can play pretty much every position, even center. Giving up a little bit of extra picks to move up 28 spots, which ironically enough was with the Texans. And with this selection, we're going to be taking Mikkel. I like the athleticism. I thought he was actually slower than that. But Marcus Mikkel, he's going to be the starting free safety, as we don't really have one right now. And we're hoping for a shot in the dark, 91 speed, chance at a dev up early on. Maybe he's the future safety. I don't know. But we need a safety choice. He was the best available, and that's the best I know. Late 5th, last pick of the draft. We'll see there's actually anything we can do with this. And we could go corner, who could play both positions, or a safety. Lawson also looks pretty damn good, right? He's got an A catching. He's pretty fast. Why not? Add some depth. 93 speed, normal dev. Why not? For a late fifth, that's not bad. Well, here we are. Let's see how messed up we did, because we definitely hurt ourselves for the future. Yeah, that is a really bad draft pick. 75 overall with 78 power move, 73 block shed. Not that fast, not even that strong. I fell for it. And Lawson looks pretty good. The lineman, I think, is decent. And then Mikkel has potential. Lowry's going to be generational. Not that it would matter because pick 3 is another beast. Yeah, 83 overall. 90 finesse. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to look at his dev because we already know. I'm going to take a look at that DT I could have had later. Was he a 2 to 3? Was he 3 to 4? I can't remember what freaking... Was it Lowry? There's so many Lowry and Lowrys. I can't remember who is who. But if it was Lowry, which I don't think it was, because the guy that we were looking at was an A finesse, I believe. Who was the hell is his name, though? Maybe it actually was Cooks. And if it was, he's normal dev. I can't tell. 74 finesse, that finesse checks out, but I thought it would have been a little bit better than that. I think that might have been the guy. I think either way, we were about to really screw ourselves, but not as bad as trading all the way up to number 10 for a slow edge rusher with no hidden dev. But hey, you know what? We're going to make the argument that we're asking him to bulk up about 10 pounds, and he's our new DT for now. I don't know about long term, but he is DT too. Amari Albert. It's got a DT name even. Big ol' Albert. Season 3, we're still, developing. Definitely still developing. Leggett, I worry about because he's already 25 years old. But he's getting there. He's definitely a good jump ball guy. He can catch well. Offensive line-wise, definitely pretty damn good with left tackle and left guard. And then potentially Hunt for the long term. Sanders is going to be the starting tight end still. Wide receivers I think are fine. Brooks, I really need to get to 90, and I really need that dev up. Albert, speaking of, needs a dev up because I cannot have this draft pick be a bust. I cannot have traded up all of that, which wasn't even that bad when you really think about it. We ended up losing a second this upcoming year, which hopefully we're in the playoffs again, and then a third-round pick, which was already pretty bad anyways. It was not a bad trade-up, but yeah, we could have done so much better than that player. We argue that Albert has bulked up. If we get a better DT in the future, or he sucks at DT, he can, lose some weight and play edge. He's versatile like that, which I think is fair based on the way he is built. I think that's what they intend. I don't know why God hates me, but it's got to be him, somebody, because we're having a terrible season with changing nothing scheme-wise. The team is about the same, if not getting better every season. Sort of, and we're way worse than normal when we don't have our own second-round pick. Of course, Robert Hunt should have been on a 5-year deal, and I don't feel like he has been because he's already here. Like, I'm pretty sure I changed all this. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's on a 5-year 100, so he should be right now on a... It would be 1 year out of 3, basically, because I think he'd have 2 more years after this. Regardless, we got the deal done. Aquanu, he is not playing well, but at the same time, as a superstar offensive lineman, do you really want to let him go? How much is it? 22 mil per. I wouldn't want to do more than like 5 years, honestly. I am shocked that he's not taking that offer, by the way. That's kind of crazy. Damian Lewis isn't bad, but I think he's going to be gone. Fuller's definitely going to be gone, and Thompson, he's going to be gone. We're going to lose most of our offensive line here, but I mean, if you've been watching 10-year rebuilds, that is a very constant thing that we see. A little bit of a win streak, which I actually enjoy. We need that high draft pick, but at the same time, I don't want us trading off that second-round pick to feel even worse than before. Obviously, I have no reason for us to lose. Of all the seasons I would force us to lose, it would not be this one, so I don't care about looking at the schedule. Brooks was still pretty good, but the touchdowns are down. Bryce Young was still pretty good, but the touchdowns and yards are down. Receiving, Leggett could be X Factor. He's been playing pretty well. Tight end might need to go, might need a new one. And Robert Hunt might go to Superstar, which is good timing. I mean, not really good timing because we just fixed his contract. We didn't actually extend him or anything like that. D-line, Albert was all right. Walker was actually pretty good. It's a glow up for sure. Clowney was great again. Derek Brown was pretty good. Horn could go up and down, would be great. McLaughlin was decent. Gillikin was pretty good. Kick return, punt return, no touchdowns. We've really haven't seen many in our rebuilds lately, which is kind of weird. You would think sooner or later, if we do 5, 10-year rebuilds, the fact that we haven't seen literally one, I honestly think in any of the 10-year rebuilds we've done, it's a little too low, right? I get they're not easy to get, but they're also not that hard to get. Defense Rookie of the Year, of course, Lowry gets it. Albert, not even close. Best quarterback, number 6. Best running back, really not on the list. I know the touchdowns were low, but I thought he would have been on the list. Wide receiver, number 5. O-line, no way, he's number 3. That is harsh, man. Clowney at number 5. Linebacker, no. DB, all the way at number 6. Maybe not a dev up. Damn, that kind of sucks. But really, like I said, the biggest thing I'm kind of maddest about is not having our own second-round pick when we went 7-10. It's basically our normal, our first 2 seasons, first-round pick. That's where we would be at that point. And ironically enough, all for a guy that's probably still normal dev. Oh, we sold with that. I should not have traded up for him, but I was thinking at minimum star, maybe superstar plus. Because that guy did look really good as the Bengals win the Super Bowl. We have a ton of money, so money's not a problem. Offensively, Leggett is an X factor. He's 26 now. But if there was ever a chance for him to develop in one of these rebuilds, it is now. X factor at 86, almost 87 overall. He should be good. Brooks, almost 90 overall now. Defensively, oh, he went up 2 overalls. No shot, dude. That was a terrible... That might be, like, top 3 worst trade I've ever done. Mikel didn't really... or Michael, but I'm sure it's Mikel. Did not go open dev or anything like that. Man, that sucks. That decision was so ass. I'm kind of hoping Clowney just retires so I have no choice but to start him at edge, and he just does well for us, because he was terrible. Well, I wouldn't say terrible at DT2, but he wasn't as good as some of the other DT2s we've seen. But anyways, negotiations. Actually, I think it was Clowney we weren't keeping because, yeah, he was... What's his regression? Because if he didn't regress that hard, I kind of want to keep him. Okay, so he did drop 18 whole points, which is several overalls. He's not bad, but yeah, I think we're going to replace him. Shaq Thompson, I'm going to keep him for another year if he's down. I mean, why not? 1 year 8? I should have done more. 17 mil, no thank you. Right tackle, he's actually been playing pretty well for us, so I'm going to try to keep him as well. 16.5 mil. Yeah, I don't think that's true, but best of luck to you. And yeah, outside of a 5th-year option for Young, which is already almost 60 million anyways, I think the rest are going to go. Gillick and I actually going to resign, but outside of that, the rest are free agents. And here we are, free agency. We got a lot of money, so I'm not going to be super shy about... Oh, Mark Andrews. Damn, son. Mark Andrews could be a name. Because Sanders really hasn't done it for us. I'm going to go position by position, but I think I might be spending a little bit of money on Mark Andrews. 17 million a year is a lot, though. 2-year 36, where would that put him? Damn, a division rival wants him too. We do like... Man, that's a lot of money, though. We do a 2-year 38? I mean, I don't think either one's going to really... It'll put us at the highest, but I'm hesitant to do anything higher than that. 3-year 57? See, that's not really helping us any, so why add years when it's going to give me the best chance either way? It's going to be about the same. Yeah, I mean, I think I have to throw that on the list. When we have this much money, I don't want to overpay, though. But we'll see. As far as other positions go, Sheriff just won Offensive Lineman of the Year, I believe, and he goes to free agency. O-line's really not a problem for us, though. Like, you know, we can replace center pretty easily, I'd say. Yeah, my big positional need would definitely... I mean, edge is up there, but I don't really think Phillips is worth even close to that. Away is not worth close to that, but at the same time, he's not really getting that because nobody's offering him. But I think maybe a safety. Cameron Curl's not too bad. Could just draft a safety because I don't really like these names either. Actually need multiple safeties, to be fair. Yeah, we probably should pay somebody here because we actually do need multiple safeties. Cameron Curl, I don't think wants to join us, though. Let's offer a 3-year 36. If he's willing to join us on 12 per, I'd do it. Well, those are going to be my offers. See what happens. And we get both. Okay. I'm not super shocked by Curl, but Andrews I thought could have went either way. We'll take him. And yes, I know we'll take him. We literally offered him, and he accepted, so there's no way around that. So what would that have been? Pick 44 in the second round? I love me. Then again, if we don't have someone we really like up there, we could just trade down anyways and recoup what we lost, I suppose. All right, here we go. Pick 10, and honestly, there might be another generational edge rusher here, and we're actually in range for once to get them. I don't know for a fact, but A, tackle, A, power move, B, finesse, very athletic for 6'5". I don't know. I don't know if they are. I'm tempted. I can't go too high, though, because we already lost our second round this year. I would be willing to go to, like, pick 5, maybe. Never mind. They're gone. Okay. We move on. All right. Some other really good players here. I think, though, I am willing to trade down to like 20-ish. There's a lot of really good players, though. We got options, so I'm not super push. Could go DT, could go corner, could go safety. Corner to play safety, in fairness. 21, we get a second round next year. I'd prefer it to be this year, though. 23 would get 2 really nice draft picks. Oh, that might be undeniable. I mean, that is pretty good, right? We also can go down further and actually get that second we wanted this year. I think, was it the Vikings? The Vikings are giving me a trade that's just too good for me to pass. I'm getting a second, third, and fourth next year, which I think is just, it is a lot to be passing on. So we're going to go to 23, see where we're at. Could trade up if we really wanted to. We do have that wide receiver, Pat Porter, as well, who's 21, 6'4", pretty athletic. He's an round 1 talent grade, A-catch, driving B-catch. Don't think we need a wide receiver that bad, though. So I don't know if that's a position I want to go for right now. D-line, I like Guyton quite a bit, and I like Highsmith, and I don't know if I want to go for them, though, because I could just wait for Ricard or Richard. What about corner? Cobbs would be my guy playing safety. Stallings was not the guy I scouted further. Cooks I scouted further, B to C. I think I might go wide receiver. Pat Porter. I like Pat Porter. I'm going to take him. Hindev, he's going to be wide receiver 2. Deontay is number 3. Mingo, we're going to trade for like a mid-second, I think. I think Mingo's gotten the short end of the stick and has nothing to do with his potential, his talent, any of that. Just the short end of the stick with different players being on the team, the team at different times. Very costly trade to move up from pick 10 in the 3rd round to the Jaguars pick here, but we're going to be ending up grabbing, I believe, Cobbs, the corner, to play free safety for us. He's 5'10". I think he just looks good, simply put. Where is Chester Cobbs? He's got a B catch, B press, A zone coverage, and he looks pretty good to play safety, I think. Normal dev, unfortunately, but normal, he's a free safety build. 81 jump, I think it just makes sense he's a free safety. We're going to move on to the next round and probably trade off Mingo here to maybe the Titans, who have been kind of struggling for a wide receiver for a while now, and then probably end up taking the DT Richard or Ricard, however you want to say his name. I think that makes the most sense. And there we go, straight up for that 3rd round pick. It says they didn't need wide receiver, but their number 2 and 3 were 1-year deal Burks and freaking Hunter Renfrow. Sure, they're good enough, but they are not long-term options at all. And with this pick, we're going to go with John Ricard. Hopefully, he's 20 years old as well. Hopefully he's the DT1 for the future. Or 2, I suppose. But 89 strength, hidden dev, 20 years old. If we started this rebuild with him, we could literally retire. I mean, not even retire him. He'd be on the team even after the rebuild is over. But yeah, we're going to be trying that edge rusher we put at DT back at edge rusher and actually giving him a year at that position and seeing what he can develop for us. Oh, Pittman, the 6'5" corners there. I got to make a trade up if he's still there, because I'm actually going to move down 1 spot. I'm actually going to move 2 spots. I'm actually going to move 3 spots. The Giants. We trade 2 players, a 4th and a 5th next year with the Giants for their very high 4th round pick. I also completely forgot about the linebacker position, so if there's linebackers here, I might have to take a look at them as well. There's not. I'm sad. Max Pittman, 21 years old, 6'5", not the fastest, but we're hoping for one of those superstar builds. And man, I might stop drafting these 6'5" corners. They've really just not paid off for me. Like 90% of them have been normal dev for me lately. Which I get because they're 6'5". That's kind of their superpower. But man, they just aren't going as far as they used to. I'm not getting the value out of them as much as I used to. Also, this running back is weird. He's got one of those A carrying builds with no speed. But he's got a good acceleration base. I don't know what that's about. But I'm not making any more trade-ups. We are still coming out with a positive for next year. We have that extra 2nd round pick. And do we have an extra 3rd round pick or do we make a trade-up? I can't remember. But either way, we need a linebacker, and that's really it. I think we solved most of the other problems. Here we go, the draft recap. What do we got? We see 75, 77, 71, 72. Pat Porter, wide receiver 2. Looking really good. We're talking about, one of the videos a little while back now, a couple of weeks back, titled I Drafted. Was it actually this rebuild? This team's rebuild? I drafted a Jordy Nelson clone. I mean, we kind of got ourselves another Jordy Nelson here. Superstar dev. Yeah, it was the Panthers rebuild. What are the odds? It's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's why I said safety. 61 block shed for a corner. You can't tell me he's not intended to be safety. He's playing free safety for us. I don't care. Curl plays strong safety. Makes more sense there. And, yeah, we'll take a look at the DT, who's 20 years old. Really good finesse. Super athletic. 20 years old is crazy. DT number 2. Dev. Oh, we'll take it. Superstar X Factor as a 20-year-old. That is really good. Okay, so that makes me feel better about our stupid trade-up last year, especially if he ends up becoming a good edge rusher. I don't know if he will be, but okay, that feels a lot better. Was that guy generational, by the way? 81 overall looks to be. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good. He's not amazing. He's very, 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 very good. Injuries low, but I don't think he's as clear-cut as the other guy was generationally-wise. 90 for his finesse move. Yeah, he's not. Okay, superstar depth. Still amazing, but yeah, not quite generational technically. But that was amazing draft. Superstar, an X Factor, a corner that looks really good to play safety was a high overall. This is a good draft, and we added more for next year while not having a second round this year. So once again, talking about how having a high position rank in the draft is really beneficial. Who would have thought? The year is 4. Leggett being an 85 overall at 26 years old worries me, but he's still got time. If he can have another really nice season here, maybe he'll be fine. But, I mean, this is proving with 154 wide receiver XP sliders, I believe, why I try to avoid the older rookies. Because, you know, especially at normal dev, you see that he's actually played really well for us so far and even gotten all the way up to X Factor and is yet still only an 85 overall because your starting point, your age, really matters on how many upgrade points you can get in a short period of time. Of course, Porter shouldn't have that problem. Should be 79, 80 by the end of the year because he's already a superstar. We had to add Fortner as our center, and then middle linebackers Deion Jones. Didn't do super well in the offseason to fill every single position, but we did get some big names and some big additions. Hoping Albert as a left end is going to have himself a year, maybe get a dev up. Cameron Curl is a new strong safety. He's great, but yeah, Andrew's another big name. This is a decent offseason for us. We've definitely upgraded quite a bit in most positions. O-line's definitely taken a little bit of a hit backwards, but some of the skill positions are a little bit better, right? Especially Mark. It's a big upgrade. There you go. Johnny Walker gets 1 of 2 for his scenario. I got to say, the last 2 years he's gotten it, so the free upgrades to pass rush have been great. Wait, did he do the thing? I don't know what it looks like when you get it. 10,000 XP superstar dev. He did it. He cooked. Hey, there's Albert. He gets his star dev. The edge rushers are eating this season. They are having a year. It's re-sign time. We have a lot of money. Bryce Young is on that list. I mean, it looks good for us. I would love to sign this to a long-term deal. So he hasn't been amazing, but he has had some glimpses of amazing seasons. So a 7-year 273 is definitely in the market for what I like to see. Brooks, I think we'll do a 7-year deal there as well. Keep these two together for as long as possible. Deontay Johnson, maybe we'll do a 1-year. Trevin's quite expensive, but it could be done. I don't know if I want it to be done, though. Smith-Wade, I think the value is there for him to be a number 3. And everyone else does not need to be paid yet. Walker's obviously coming up, but man, that Trevin Wallace contract, if it was green and I was able to lower this a little bit, I think it'd be fine. But as you can see, as it stands, like if I could do a whatever, what was he asking for, a 4-year? 5-year 72? I think I'd do it. But yeah, I mean, higher than that is just too much, I think. And another youngster getting a dev up. Cobbs goes the star. We knew it could be great. We're back in the playoffs once again. I don't know what caused us to miss them in the first place, but we are back in them, and we do lose the final game. I don't know if that would have cost us our bye week. 12-5 has been 50-50 for getting the number 1 seed in the NFC, but I would say it was probably just maybe a win too short anyways, so kind of sucks to lose that game there. Maybe even have gotten the Buccaneers in the playoffs. Oh yeah, the Cowboys made that abundantly clear that we were not making the playoffs this season. But we're back. We're back into the mix, if you will. Win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 1, win 3, lose 1. And, always going forward. It seems for the most part. At least. Genuinely speaking, obviously it's very hard to not at least lose a game. Bryce Young, great touchdown to pick ratio. Yards are a little low, but that's fine. Aaron Jones stealing all the touchdowns from Brooks, but pretty consistent from Brooks again. Porter was pretty good. Leggett was pretty good. And Andrews was not worth the money. I think you might need a scheme change if you want the tight end to work, but I don't really care too much. Ian Randolph, almost good enough for a dev up. And I got to say, Ratledge, for sitting so long as a guard, playing right tackle, only giving up 4 sacks is impressive. Walker with 11.5 sacks, Brown with 10. And 7 for the other two guys, John Ricard and Amari Albert. We don't hate that for first-time starters. I thought that was the edge Walker that had 3 picks. Still pretty good for Marion Walker. 1 block kick out of 12. That's the only miss he had, so perfectly fine. Gillikin under 50. I'm sad. I don't like what I see. I regret the contract. Not really, but still kind of sucks. No MVP. Not even on the list. We got Rookie of the Year on offense and almost Rookie of the Year on defense. Doesn't matter as much for the defense, I suppose, because we already have an X factor there, but the XP would have been nice. Quarterback at 7. Running back, surprisingly not on the list. I guess there's touchdowns once again. Keep forgetting about those. Porter at number 10 for wide receiver. O-line at 7. D-line at 7 and 8. Linebacker, no. DB at number 10. Kicker at number 2. Once again, though, back in the playoffs. Got a chance, especially against the Cardinals, who they do have 10 wins. Was that 91? 87 overall. Maybe the XP could go down a little bit, but at the same time, every team gets the same XP sliders we do. And once again, we auto-upgrade, so it's literally the same thing. The only difference is we draft better, and we manage and, re-sign and let people go better than most teams, obviously. So that's the only real difference. But yeah, everyone's got the same XP. So if they're too high, everyone's too high. If they're too low, everyone's too low. That's all that really matters. 10-3 over the Cardinals in a rainy one, which I would say benefits us going against Arizona, who probably rarely ever plays in the rain. 17-all, though, fourth quarter, and we get the field goal, or no, the touchdown, actually, right before the game's over. Not a super convincing win, but we're in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs. It's a win nonetheless. They have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Brooks, he's not been a bad running back any season he's been a starter for us, which is the whole thing, obviously. But when it comes to the playoffs, he just doesn't do well. Johnny Walker, 2 sacks, no picks. Kicking was clean. Divisional round hasn't necessarily been the hardest thing for us to get to when we're actually in the playoffs, but getting past it has, as we are now facing on against a 14-3 Green Bay Packers team while we'll be on the road. Another weather game. This time it's colder rain. It is snow. I don't know if anyone's ever called snow colder rain, but I mean, it has been now. The Bengals moving on to the championship round. Didn't see anyone else, but the Packers starting off really strong with 14 points without even blinking. But we counter back with 10 points of our own unanswered. 21-10, not a great start for us. Huge drive for them, and they're going to almost perfectly play that, but they do not get a score. It is an 8-point game. It's a little early to be slow simming. I kind of got a little excited because we're driving down the field. Don't get the score. And with that touchdown, it could be over, but we do look like we get the stop. We do not. It is going to be no chance. 3rd and 14 converting. That is a game over. Huge rushing touchdown. And while the team has a sliver of hope, I mean, it's going to come down to an 11-second onside kick, down 8 with 1 timeout. I mean, if we get this, we do have a chance. Get out of bounds. Oh, that was actually not a bad kick. And speaking of Richard, he's going to end our season. As once again, we cannot find a way past this divisional round. It is not looking good. Actually, I think we did get to the championship round once, didn't we? No, and I record these in bulk and, not bulk, but sometimes I take, a mini break and work on something else, and I completely forget. But I shouldn't be doing that. And Bryce Young, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jordan Love really didn't play all that well, but they did have a lot of rushing touchdowns, which, adds up to it. 4 rushing touchdowns. He just got more help. Brooks, a better game, but still not even close to their guy. Jacobs. Pat Porter was amazing, though. We love to see that. And looking at Johnny Walker, once again, 2 sacks. At least it seems like we at least have an above-average edge rusher. And, I mean, usually you're not going to get that unless it's like a household name. So I'm at least glad for that. And obviously, Albert, he's got potential. He's definitely got potential. He's a star dev. Potential maybe to get to superstar, probably not, but I didn't really pay attention to the tackles for a loss, so maybe he actually did have a really good season in that aspect. I don't think 7 sacks are going to do it, though, so we'll have to see. But either way, definitely a positive season. Made the playoffs, won a game. Just can't, that divisional round. It's been a pain for us a little bit lately. Cowboys versus the Chiefs, not a matchup that I would love to see in real life. I can't really root for either at this point. And it would be the Cowboys winning. I wouldn't feel happy. I wouldn't feel super happy about it. Offensively, does not look like we had any dev-ups. Not even Bryce Young, who makes sense. His numbers were low. He was efficient, but low. And then looking at the defensive side of the ball, it would appear that Trevin Wallace, who we can't afford or won't want to afford, Goes up to superstar. We love to see it. How big is he? He's actually kind of huge. I'm going to put him at middle linebacker. If it allows us to get him cheaper, call me cheating. I don't care. I really don't care. But we don't actually have him middle linebacker anyways. I should have done that anyways to start the season, but I don't even know if we're going to be able to afford him anyways. We'll see what happens. We have 100 mil, so we could pretty much pay anyone we want. Walker, 5th-year option. I think we'll wait. Deontay Johnson, I would like to keep him on a 1 more year deal if possible. 1 year 11? Nah, I kind of pushed it a little bit. Trevin Wallace is... I mean, I'll just do the same contract, a 5-year 72. You know, I feel like that's fair. A 5-year 72 at his overall is even maybe pushing it a little bit. He's getting 14.5 per, and we could have easily, you know, I could have offered him a 3 or 30 there. I just want him at middle linebacker now, and us paying 14.5, 15 mil per is easily fair. Anyone wants to cry about it? Well, you know, get some tissues ready, because I'm not drying those tears, baby. 85 million. See what we got in free agency. Probably not going to spend money. There's some pretty nice names here. Tank Dell, Panay Sewell, Zaven Collins. But, yeah, I think we're okay with our roster. Although, Deontay, let's do a 1 year 11. So that was like just under where I would expect someone to accept. Usually it's 4 bar for me to believe. And then Connor Williams, another guy that maybe we can pull off a 1 year 14. I mean, right now we're kind of free to spend money because we haven't really gotten names that have deserved big-time contracts. But sooner or later that will come. But obviously we are going to be able to save some money when Mark Andrews is gone soon enough. Deontay gets a better offer. We get Connor Williams. I mean, he's a slot wide receiver. So, yeah, it sucks to lose him. But we're not really losing, like, the biggest name in the world. Atlanta gets themselves a nice contract, nice player there. I would say best of luck to him, but I don't know if I can really say that. We've got other options. I think we have a slot wide receiver that's still on contract named Lawson. He's 77 overall. He's great. You know, our top 2 wide receivers are amazing anyways. Running backs over a 90 finally. We have our center. We just need a right tackle, arguably, because Ratledge was really good for us, who I might have called Rutledge a billion times so far. We need another linebacker, and honestly, we're fine outside of that. We just really need some dev-ups. All right, some of our biggest positional needs are usually positions you get late second or beyond, so we're just going to move on to 27 here. We get pick 12 in the second round from that trade down, which is great. Looking at, you know, positions that we could be going for, there are a couple 1-2s. But as far as those 1-2s go, not really positions we need. Technically don't need a DT yet. I put them all on the list because we can go for depth at this point. But yeah, unless we're jumping the gun at corner or just maybe going for a really good corner 3, I don't know if we really need any of these players. And I got to say, ironically enough, the year we don't really need safety anymore. Of course, there's some pretty good safeties. Marquise Daniels is there. He's pretty fast. And then you have Taekwon Wake, who's pretty good, 5'9", 22 years old. I think, though, if I'm going to go for anyone, it would probably be the corner Peter Bankston. He'd be our corner 3. I don't even need him, though. I think I'm going to trade down. I think we need some 3 to 4 type O-line and linebacker types. It's really all we need. And you know what? The Lions are giving me an unbeatable offer. A 1st, 2nd, and 4th next year. I've got to do it. I just have to do it. It's a late 1st this year for all of that. There's just no way I can deny that when I can easily trade back again even and land multiple linemen and a linebacker, which would pretty much set us. And, I mean, this isn't quite what I want, but I'm going to get pretty close to what I want with the Rams. I'll trade that 3rd next year with maybe a 4th this year to move up into the 3rd. But, yeah, I mean, with pick 2 in the 3rd round and then this pick here, I think we're going to land everything we ever needed. I think we'll be fine. Tight end could also even be grabbed, which I actually didn't really think about it, but now I might. Murphy's pretty good. Crockett's Excel does suck, but you know what? He's pretty damn fast still anyways. I'm going to grab Ryan Crockett. Oh, come on. Why can't I ever just win? Let me win just once in my life. This pick, we're going to go best available at the 2 positions we need, which are O-line and linebacker. I don't know who I want the most. Stanford looks best available for the most part, but you also have a couple of other guys. Let's take a look at Stanford. Once again, we're looking for hidden devs, which I don't know if I'm going to get it, but I'm going to go for him. Please! How was a 4.5, by the way, 85 speed? That seems kind of low, no? Let's go to the next pick, see if anyone's there. Could trade up from 27 as well. Man, we're getting really unlucky, though. Like, we're getting really unlucky with all these normals. It's kind of pissing me off a little bit, I ain't gonna lie. Jose Parker, I've had my eye on him a little bit. Jose Parker, I'm done, bro. Why so unlucky? This draft could have been so legendary. All right, we're going to trade up again because we need more players. I mean, you get a normal dev lineman, and it's basically a GG for them, right? Like, there's just no point. It's barely any point because you just can't dev them up. It's a really stupid system, and it just doesn't really work. Pretty damn close to making that trade, which tells me the value is pretty close. Boom. I mean, I guess I go for another. Linebacker's a little easier to develop, so I'll probably end up just using the guy and hoping for a dev up, but O-line, I can't live with that, right? I need more linemen. 6'4" Douglas. Campbell's not really that versatile. I mean, Douglas, even though he's set at center, is more versatile than the rest because of his size. I'm done. I'm not doing any more drafts. I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm not going to draft anymore this draft, I suppose. I can't believe the unluckiness with normal devs in this one. That is crazy. 2 third-round normal dev linemen. I mean, that is like the worst we've had in some time. That is unbelievable. We also have a UDFA safety, Dom Derby. He looks all right. Why not? 91 speed. We got a first and a second next year with a fourth, I suppose, which I think we just traded that off. But don't get it wrong. This draft is very frustratingly bad. Look at the overall 73, 74, 72. I mean, look at these dudes. They suck. I'm actually pretty frustrated, and I can't really be mad at anyone. Not even at, I was about to say but myself. I can't even be mad at myself either. You know, they looked good. We got unlucky. I'm not saying it's really annoying, but what is every player is supposed to be hidden? You know, sometimes you win some, you lose some, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to be mad about it. I don't even know if I want to start in these linemen, but whatever, dude. I really wanted that first round because, once again, we didn't really have many needs other than the players we tried to replace, O-line and linebacker. And I figured if we go forward and we're like, oh, crap, we actually need this, then having 2 first-round picks would give you a really good chance to really move almost anywhere on the board. And that's why I did it. But I can't really complain even about the trade downs because if I didn't trade down, I might have landed even more crap players. Here we go for Season 5. The team is definitely developing. Big problem is, where one climbs up, the other falls down, which is going to be Andrews after this season. O-line, Ratledge was great. I'm not sure what we're going to do long-term. If he plays well again, I kind of have no choice but to keep him. It's not often that you see back-to-back great seasons for a tackle, especially one that's not that high of an overall. It's a little bit of a mixed bag. Left tackle's great. Left guard's pretty damn good future-wise. But right guard and center, they're not the youngest guys in the world anymore. And then you look at the defensive side of the ball. The D-line is insanely young for the most part. Linebackers are hoping for a dev up from Stanford. And outside of that, the defense actually does look really good long-term. 107 mil. Leggett needs a contract. I'd be willing to do a 4-year, I think. 40-60, so maybe 40 or 62, 40 or 65, whatever it takes. Walker, I think he's proven himself pretty well to be like the franchise edge. So we're going to go with a 7-year 175, which is a lot of money, but it also could be worse. Walker gets a contract. Barton actually will get a contract as well. And then I'll have to take a look at Ratledge to see if I want him back, because he's actually not asking for a whole lot. I know he's 25 normal, but still, we'd be losing some linemen if we let the other guys go, but based on their age, I think that is probably what we're going to do. And as far as Mark Andrews goes, haven't really seen a whole lot of value out of him. So we probably just rock bracket. Supercell, the second half of the season. Will it cost us the playoffs? It will not. 10-7, but we were so much better off earlier on in the year than that. Taking a look at the schedule, I mean, really good start, and then we lose 3 in a row. Okay, 4 in a row, actually. Okay, we win 4 in a row after, then we lose 3 in a row, and then we win at the end. So some win streaks, some losing streaks, and ultimately enough of the winning streaks to get us back into the playoffs. Bryce Young's numbers, 34 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. See, like, the touchdown-to-pick ratio is amazing, but is that good enough to, like we're making the playoffs, but is that, considered really good? Because overall, it feels like the touchdowns are still low. Maybe I'll just look at the team touchdowns. Porter was great. Leggett had a lot of touchdowns. But yeah, it just seems like the passing numbers are a little low. But left guard's great. Center's great. Robert Hunt was pretty good. I gave Ratledge a 2-year 12 because he's been pretty damn good so far as the right tackle. D-line, Brown and Walker were great again. And then I suppose Richard, Ricard, and Albert were a half sack each better. Picks were lackluster. Black was pretty good. Gillikin was pretty damn good. And that is how the season goes. Yeah, I want to take a look at those the numbers. Offensively, the yardage is really low. Points per game-wise, we are... Yeah, I mean, that is low, right? We're like middle of the pack points per game-wise, and we're one of the worst yardage offenses. The efficiency's good, but that might just be because Bryce Young's good, no? I might change the scheme after this year. Speaking of, CJ Stroud is on the top of the list. Yeah, they're going to change the scheme after this year. Even though we're making the playoffs and even though the numbers look all right, I don't think there's enough of the numbers. I think we're very efficient, but I also just don't think we're putting up enough points. Like, that was middle of the pack yards, or middle of the pack points, bottom of the league yards. I feel like, you know, you look at this team, especially with Mark Andrews here at the moment, we should be doing better. 86 overall wide receiver 2, 90 overall wide receiver 1, 91 overall wide QB 1, 94 overall running back 1, 95 overall tight end 1, with an O-line that's averaging about an 85 overall. I definitely think we should be better than this. Look at CJ Stroud, by the way, 37 touchdowns to 0 picks. That is insane. But you look at these other numbers, and I mean, they're not that. I think I'm just gonna keep it as is. Brooks is playing pretty well too. Outside of going back to that Falcons playbook from the last rebuild, there's not really much better that I feel like we can do. I don't know. It's weird. It's saying we're lower end, but you look at those quarterback numbers, and maybe their yards are higher, maybe their touchdowns a little higher, but the efficiency isn't as high, and their overalls are very similar. So, I mean, I haven't actually won a Super Bowl yet, even gotten to one, but I think it's a fair playbook, and we're getting some pretty balanced numbers. I would like the touchdowns to be a little higher overall, but yeah, a classic line. It could always be worse. 14-6, 14-9, 21-9, huge score before half. And it looks like we're going to get our revenge against the Packers. 28-9, very convincing win here. 31-17. Okay, I guess we're going to try to do that. Of course, nice touchdown at the end for us, but gave them a chance to sneak back in there. They needed one stop. They would have got it, but Bryce Young and company do finish the job. Perfect game for Bryce Young. Brooks is pretty decent. Porter was amazing. Look at defensively, not bad. No picks, no miss. We actually had a missed extra point, actually, I believe, right there at the end, but didn't really matter technically. But once again, a very convincing win against the Green Bay Packers, who smoked us the year before. And it's Crockett, not Brackett. Not even close. I mean, I wouldn't say not even close, but not that close. Got it wrong either way. To the divisional round. NFC's got some tough opponents that usually break out every single time. The Seahawks, kind of a tie with the coach, if you will. 90 overall versus 90 overall. It's a close one. Here we go. End of the game. Huge start to the Seahawks game where they get a big rushing touchdown. We do tie them. We get a stop. We get another touchdown. Up by 7. I mean, we look energized compared to most playoffs. Up by 10 into the fourth quarter. It's going to be a 7-point game. We're not doing what we can to close this game out. And just like that, it's going to be a tied-up game. We have the 7-point lead. We get the stop. And on 3rd and 9, we can win the game with a first down, which they get to Lawson. And it wasn't quite winning the game on that, but it ended up becoming that, as we are going to head on to the championship round. Both teams not the best quarterbacking, but at least Bryce Young didn't throw a pick. He also, allowed for Brooks to have 2 rushing touchdowns. Looking at the defensive side of the ball, Johnny Walker, let him cook for 1 interception for Josh Stanford. And their guy missed a field goal, which might have played a big factor for all we know. Wow, this is a hell of an upgrade. I decided randomly, I seen his upgrade there. I was like, let me get him some power upgrades. 2 truck, 2 to stiff arm is amazing. Puts him at an 80 truck, almost 80 stiff. The championship round, either the highest we've been or tied for the highest we've been. And of course, it's against the Falcons, who ended up stealing one of our players, I believe. Who the hell was it? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of who it was. It's actually like destroying me inside now. The Bills winning over the Chiefs is definitely a welcomed scene. Was it Deontay? It was Deontay Johnson. That's actually a big one too, because it's a wide receiver, it's a skill position player. That would have been for a hell of a trio again for us, but in general, it would have knocked them down a peg. But yeah, they got themselves a really good wide receiver group now because of him. And as you can see, we are getting completely shut down. Still shut out, by the way. I think we have to change the scheme. The Falcons' defense, even this many years down the line where things have changed, should not be that good. It should not be that good, and I guarantee it isn't that good. The scheme just lost us our best chance at a Super Bowl. Penix made Bryce Young look like a rookie, which is ironic because, Penix is technically younger. Brooks was better, but it didn't matter. What about Deontay? Deontay Johnson, 3 for 35. Not really much going on there. Pass rush, didn't really do much there. Missed a field goal because it was blocked. Could have changed things, maybe. But I will be changing the scheme. Of course, it's the Falcons that we lose to. The scheme that I would probably go to But that's frustrating, losing to a team that probably doesn't rank too high in defense. But then again, we don't rank too high in offense. I got to take a look at these stats and awards. I really want to see this defense. If they're ranked poorly, I think... okay, so they are ranked pretty high, though, it seems. They're the third best defense in the league, apparently. So, yeah, I mean... wasn't a great game from us anyways, but it is justified because apparently the Falcons are a goated defense. Some people say that their 3-4 defense is actually pretty good, too. And we know their offense is at least above average. Don't know if I want to change schemes or not because it's, about halfway, a little bit over halfway through this rebuild. And still have not made the Super Bowl, let alone won it. Which, once again, we're not perfect by any means, but our offense should be better than it is. If we're losing games, it should be because of the defense, not the offense. And that's just not been the case as we lose to the Super Bowl winning Falcons, basically, which, never really makes me feel too much better. Negotiations could keep Mr. Andrews around if we wanted to. But I don't think we will. Robert Hunt, he's not been bad by any means, but O-line are always the positions that you can get rid of for the most part. Doug Black was pretty good, so we'll do a 3-year 7.5, which he takes. It's not a bad contract for either side. Andrews, I don't think he's been good, but like I said, I feel like his overall helps us win games, and that's important, winning games, obviously. So we'll go into free agency, which I can't imagine is going to be too great, but we re-signed pretty much everyone we wanted to, and once again, it's just really O-line we need to replace, which, gotta say, that last draft was so devastating. It would have been perfect. We would have had those guys developed a little bit, at least, and wouldn't have been so, screwed for this year, but nope, not today. Here we go, pick 10 overall. I didn't really look too high up there because we don't have any, glaring needs that would make sense to be taking someone that high, and I don't really want to future-proof at position. We might not ever need to future-proof at edge. Looks to be in a really good spot right now, so I wouldn't want to force it just because it's it feels like it makes sense, grab an edge rusher this high and whatnot, but yeah, I don't think that's going to be the route we go, so it might be another trade down where we're gaining extra value. I scouted some running backs because backup running back wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Tight end again because the guy that we have, he's normal dev. So if I'm going to start someone next year that isn't Andrews, I don't particularly want that to be a normal dev 24-year-old tight end. And then we have a safety there. We have a corner right here who looks pretty good. So, I think we're just going to trade to the late first, see what happens. Maybe even to next year round if we wanted to. 29 is the draft pick that we have. Pick 10. Definitely worth that trade down from the Lions. Can't lie. 21. That seems like a terrible trade down, by the way. The Dolphins, I don't hate it, but it's second round, super far from now. The Colts are giving me something similar to, the last trade down we had, but we actually do get to keep the first round this year, so I don't hate that. Let's go to 22. Maybe move down a little bit more. And you know what? The Colts are giving me something crazy here. I'm getting a second round this year and a first round next year, which at 22, that is fair. With that first round next year, it could easily be amazing, or it could be even worse than where we're at now. And you got to wait a whole year to see it. We're getting a lot of trade down value. We're getting a first round next year again. We're pulling a kind of a Bears real life, to be honest, but it's not a bad thing to be trying to pull. Nate Drummond, decently fast. If I knew that power move, I'd maybe take a chance on him because it's a bit later than 10. Is there actually a reason to take someone here? Any 1-2s at all? The safety, but that's about it. How good was the safety, though? 22, pretty fast. A block shed's interesting. Why not? Why not? Hidden dev. I'm glad that a why not kind of luxury pick for once actually is hidden, though. Most of the time I do that, I'm like, yeah, that was actually really stupid. I should have not done that. But this time it actually works out. We're happy with it. And now we still need offensive linemen for sure, but we can probably get some in the third. I would probably rather go DT type here, which even though we don't really need DT, why not? I suppose. There's a lot of decent options here, though. I would say Lauderdale looks the best out of everyone. Randy Lauderdale, 22. He's not that fast, 38 reps. Man, he's 22. Can I get a 21? Woodley? I like Woodley a little more. Yes, hidden dev. I wonder if we dodged a bullet there, or if the other guy was like an X Factor or something. Next pick, if there's a 2 to 3 lineman that's there that looks great, maybe I'll go for them. That tackle is interesting. I'm not going to go for that. If they're 1 to 2 and they're still here, there's probably a good reason for it. What about tight end? 21? 6'6", 21. Pretty damn fast. I think I do want to draft another tight end here. Preferably someone that's 21. Gamble looks pretty good. I probably could just wait on him. They're all 21 and pretty athletic. So Gamble looks really good. I think Martinez might be a little better, but it's not easy to tell. As far as 2 to 3s go, I mean, none of them look amazing, so I mean, we could just take someone here, but I'm going to trade down, get even more value. Why not? 29's a little bit closer. It seems a little like moot to be trading down. I'll take this. Why not? From the Jets. Pick 70 will still give me a linebacker or a lineman. Maybe even the tight end at that slot. 29 with third, pick 3 in the next round. I mean, our team does have depth, though. You can't deny that. You can't complain about depth. Morton, I've kind of had my eye on a little bit. 22 years old, 6'5". Thank you. Hidden development trade, 90 strength. I kind of liked his build, and obviously his key ratings look kind of decent. And then we have a couple of other linemen here. I'm going to go with the tight end here. Martinez could still be here, and he is. That makes things a little bit tougher. He's 6'6". I'm going to go Martinez. Hidden dev. This is a much better draft. And once again, we added that first round next year again. And we still have 29 this round. We could trade, something else up if we want to. I'm not sure if we will, but we could. Do you go Watson? More, potential play him anywhere type of situation? It's not that tall, but I'm still going to take Ryan Watson, 21 years old, 6'2". Normal dev, man. I got to look at the O-line. If we have a position that's going to be filled by a normal dev player, I'm going to continue drafting O-line. Oh, there definitely will be. Ratledge kind of counts as a starter anyways, but we can use one more. Linebacker we don't need yet, and Barton we signed long-term, didn't we? So, Stanford would be the next guy we have to replace. So, yeah, linebacker is not a need at all. Safety would be a bigger need, and we just drafted one. So, yeah, I'm going to trade up for the final remaining lineman. At this point, I'm just missing on linemen a lot, so realistically, I might as well just wait until there's just one left and let the game basically decide. And they're giving us a choice. I think Hobart probably is the better of the two. 28 reps. I haven't really paid attention to strength that much lately. I've been actually getting more luck with those hidden devs being lower. I'm going to go Miller. Why am I the way I am? I literally was wanting Hobart the whole time. I saw the size difference, and I was like, okay, let's go to the Titans, though. I want that running back. He's a round 1 projected. We've seen that most of the time. It's pretty correct, at least overall-wise. Don't know about the dev half the time, but overall-wise, I might even trade back-to-back and get the other lineman. Why not? Let's trade back-to-back. We have a lot of 5th-round picks. Let's trade the Giants, grab both of those guys. All of these linemen, we basically have 2 sets of linemen. We've drafted so many, but we've just been missing on these hidden devs so often that it's almost needed. 147, I think that's about fair. Maybe even an overtrade, but I don't really care. We got a lot of extra stuff for next year already, and we already have all the talent we'll ever need. Is there a linebacker? There's even a linebacker. I'm going to go Baker first. Terrence Baker, 6'1". A bunch of decent ratings. Not the fastest, but really good trucking. Grabbing him. Hidden dev. All right. We don't even need a running back that bad, but I wanted a backup just to complement Brooks. And then pick 2 in the 4th round. We could go linebacker, but I need hidden lineman. Please, Hobart. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll take it. Let's call it a draft. It probably means nothing, but found a random outside linebacker who was hidden dev. Marvin Shepard, 22 years old, really 58. And we're going to go for a kicker late in the 7th. He's got elite speed, elite kick power. Why the hell not? And he's hidden dev. 82 speed, 96 kick power. Gillikin can be gone when the contract runs up. Yeah, we're so ahead of the curve here with depth that we have a backup punter if things go bad. It's not really it. We just have literally nothing else that we need, so I'm just going to grab whatever I see. 73, 75, 73, 73, 73, 71, 75, 73, 74, 67, 73. We drafted a lot of players. I wish I could just see the dev. I wish there was an option that, it said, click X to peek at dev or something like that. Thomas, he looks pretty basic, but what's that dev looking like anyways? Future strong safety, star dev. Right end, he's technically a DT, so that's where we're going to play him at. 21 years old as well, so don't know what Derek Brown looks like, but, if the day comes that we need to save some money, if that's day soon, we're pretty good. Normal dev. Not normal dev, star dev. Morton, he was normal, wasn't he? He was hidden. If he was going to play any position, it would be right guard, I suppose. We need center and right guard, I believe, and he is a mammoth star dev. It's been a while since I've drafted a hidden, superstar dev hidden lineman, though. Martinez, pretty damn athletic. Could be a superstar, you never know. There was other options, but I think Martinez was the best of those bunch. So if he wasn't, it's just luck of the draw, really. And then I think Watson was normal dev, right? Was Watson and Miller normal dev? Damn, son. It was Hobart, who's obviously 6'2", built to play center anyways, who will play center. Kind of want to see that running. But what was the running backs overall? Was he with 76 overall? Star dev for the now center. And he was 75 overall. Baker, usually the round one is 74, 75 plus. Really good trucking back. We got ourselves a legit running back duo who is also superstar dev. We will take it. That was a really good draft, and honestly, half the players we got, we didn't even really need. Here we go. Year 6. The wide receivers not developing as quick as I would like, but we're here. We're still in the 90s for the most part. O-line is definitely shifting around a little bit defensively. Things are looking pretty good. I'm not sure when we're going to have to start paying a couple of players, but I do worry about that. Oh, yeah, Derek Brown's an X-Factor. That's pretty cool. He's only 30 as well. I think we have him until he's 32. But, yeah, money you would think is going to become a problem soon. Is it Walker we need? I think Albert needs a contract coming up, but we'll tread carefully because we haven't run into money problems yet, and that worries me because usually by now or very close to now, that's when it starts to become a problem. All right, this could be a problem. We have $39 million. We need to pay some players. Albert's really cheap, though. I mean, some of these contracts are a little surprising to me. We're about to lose the left guard, but I can live with it. Wide receiver will be a problem. He'll be costly. Punter, we have a replacement for, but yeah, I mean, I don't really see money problems yet. I just simply don't. And Albert's been pretty good. 6 year 66, $11 million per. I think we're just getting kind of lucky this rebuild so far. To the playoffs. We are in them. 11-5, potentially. Nope, not going to be 12-5. We lose to the Chargers, going up against the Bears now. Let's take a look at that win-loss real quick. And we're seeing some wins, some losses, some wins, some losses. Pretty standard stuff. Haven't really seen that dominance yet, though, in this rebuild. Usually at some point we kind of have a dominance streak. Not really happening. Change to that Falcons offense. It was good enough for the Falcons, obviously. Brooks was better. The receiving was a bit better, especially the tight end. I think the Falcons playbook, I really do think it's very balanced. Ooh, Morton, the rookie, could go up in dev. But I think it is really balanced. It doesn't seem OP, but you get a good balance of both passing and rushing. Albert was great. Brown was great. Walker was great. Ricard, I mean, it's consistency. Horn with 4 picks. Maybe it's finally time for him to get a dev up. Black missed 3 field goals out of 12. Not super fond of it. Gillikin was pretty good again. And yet again, no kick return touchdowns of any sort. Punt or kick return, I suppose. Bryce Young, number 7. Looking at the awards for the NFC side. Bryce Young, number 7 on Offensive Player of the Year as well. Derek Brown at number 5. Albert at number 8. Offensive Rookie of the Year, number 5 for Martinez, who was a backup. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year, we didn't even start a rookie or even came close to starting a rookie. QB was number 3. Brooks, number 4. Wide receiver, number 9. O-line, number 3. Really? That's really harsh. Derek Brown, number 4. Albert, number 7. And then Walker, number 10. Linebackers. Haven't really seen much linebacker success off-ball-wise. I guess it is hard to get. You got to get a lot of picks. Horn at number 5 for DB. And then kicker not on the list, which no one's surprised about. We're in the wild card round. We have 4 overalls over the Bears. They have tied the game, or we have tied the game, I suppose. They had the lead first. 14-7. They get 3 back. Right before half, we get another touchdown. They do not score, so we're up 11, up 18. It's looking pretty damn promising, and that will be the win. As once again, we've done pretty well in the wild card round. Wow, really well, actually. 55-10, 55-17. But then the later rounds, that's where it really gets challenging. Bryce Young with his best game of his career by far. One of the best games in playoff history in general, to be fair. Brooks was very good as well. And, I mean, even then, we had 2 rushing touchdowns on top of the 6 passing. We were undefendable. And it was by a bunch of different receivers. It wasn't like, one guy really went off and carried. It was a group effort. Amorion Walker and Mr. Josh Stanford with picks. Kicking was missed extra point, but other than that, clean. What a performance. And we are headed on to the divisional round. Have not made the Super Bowl yet. The Vikings, they're not a team to be slept on. They've actually done pretty well in sim for themselves. We have 5 overalls on them. They have JJ McCarthy and Dallas Turner still, which is, I mean, it's interesting. Obviously, we have our rookies for the most part, too. End of the game. Championship round. Can we actually get to the championship round and then go further than that? 7-all. The Vikings tying the game up 10-7. Right before half, they get a really nice score, and they almost did another. That'd been really big for them. We get down the field, but don't score. They get a touchdown. We're down by 3 now after the touchdown. The 2-point, and it looks like we tie the game up, but they have 3 whole minutes, which they will not use properly to win the game before overtime. And, I mean, I don't want to force the issue, but at the same time, I mean, we just got the first down there. I get it was like kind of a strugglesome first down to get, but why not? Why not go for this? Get some pretty damn talented receivers. I mean, why not do one of these? You get down the field, you call a timeout, and you only need like 15 yards to get into field goal range. Which, I mean, really shouldn't be that hard. Once again, with this really good group of receivers. Leggett, you could even just take a shot with. Which we had... oh, what a try. That would have been sick. We did have Porter inside, but I just, you know... I saw Leggett had a chance, took a shot, didn't really work out, but hey, it's first down, we got another chance. Just need to get like, 10, 15 yards, get yourself a chance. Just get yourself a chance. Don't throw the pick 6, though. It's a little bit of a late read, but it will get there, and Leggett will hold on. And, I mean, that's good enough for me. I'm going to take a shot here at a 53-yard field goal, actually. Let the AI kick it, but I want to waste that clock all the way down, make sure no issues arise. Hits the field goal, great. If he doesn't, we at least had a chance. Try the field goal, hits it, we win. I mean, it's really not that hard to get on the field. The defense is going to be a bit cautious, and ultimately, we win the game with not really that hard of a last-minute drive there. Bryce Young was not great. JJ McCarthy was pretty good. Brooks was decent. Receiving Andrews had himself a play. Nothing really, spectacular out of the ordinary, like amazing. Metellus was great for them, to be fair. And we also missed a field goal because of a blocked field goal earlier, which, we could have argued that would have been enough to win the game on its own earlier on. The wide receiver reporter also now a 90 overall, I believe. But here we are, the championship round. The Cowboys are a massive problem, and it's not going to be them. It's going to be their division rival, but not them. So, it's good. Brought them up for basically nothing. Tua is the quarterback. Interesting. Here we go. End of the game. Can we finally make the Super Bowl? We get a stop with a field goal. They get a touchdown. They get a stop. They're still leading by 4. I mean, we're turning the ball over a lot, it seems, right before half. All those drives, and they're just not scoring. What is with us in the championship round not scoring? Give the defense some props for keeping us in this thing, but, these championship rounds, man, we're allergic to the end zone. Hell, we're allergic to any sort of scoring. 4th and 4, we do not get the stop. It was a 10-yard penalty that led to a touchdown, I guess. And there's time. It's just, once again, will the AI waste all that time? They wasted 40 seconds with all 3 timeouts and decided not to call one. I mean, I don't really understand why that is the case in this game. We're going to the tight end. I mean, I can't believe he covers that. I don't know how he runs all the way over to the wheel route outside and then sees the tight end inside. And then on top of that, I finally learned that was freaking... I did not want to do that. I learned that was 2nd down. Hopefully we don't get a penalty for flipping it again. All right, let's see it. I'm not really sure why we're doing that, but yeah, why not? I seen Leggett. I seen him. He wins the round. It's a great throw in field goal position already. They're like, hey, let's just go to overtime. And I'm like, hey, I don't trust you, bots. Let's try to win the game now. Mobile quarterback, so why not go with the play action? I'm taking it all. That throw was really not great. And that ball, it wasn't the best throw either, just in general with throw power. But, yeah, we kind of played that conservatively. Should have probably got accelerating towards that ball. Do we have anything deep? I mean, I guess kind of the option over the middle will be a tough throw. I mean, I feel like we're forcing it here. Maybe not. It's an overthrow for one, but it's against the linebacker. I took that chance. Are they suggesting field goal? They are. 44-yarder. Tie the game. Go to overtime. Hits it. Overtime. 4th and 3. It's a stop. Looks like it's our ball. And with that, we are going to win the game and head to the Super Bowl. You could argue us coming to the game almost choked the game. Bryce Young with a touchdown. 1 pick, though. Several rushing. Good team effort. A lot of yards in the pass game. Just not a lot of touchdowns, but it led to a couple of touchdowns on the ground anyways. Some sacks for the defense. Forrest with a pick. Black missing a kick. I'm just glad that these kicks, at least this season so far, haven't lost us games. Well, at least in the playoffs. For all the marbles, if we win this Super Bowl, we don't have to sim or watch these playoff games anymore. Save us a little bit of time. So we're not, we're not here for 3 hours. But at the end of the day, it's already going on to the 7th season almost. So, I mean, does that really even matter? Even if we win it here. Dev-ups for the offense, unfortunately not going to exist. Even for Brooks. Defensively, Albert goes up in dev, which is massive. Stanford goes up in dev, which is also huge. But yeah, that Albert dev up, unbelievably clutch. That is the biggest. I mean, without a doubt. We just paid him a 6-year 66, and he's a superstar now. That pick looked like such a bad decision, especially when he sucked at DT. But man, did his second year, it was just a glow up. Hasn't really looked back since. He's been pretty damn good. And we are going against the Chargers for potentially all the marbles. You win this, and in my opinion, it is considered a successful rebuild. All right, come on, offense. Actually do something for once. We get a field goal, they get a touchdown. We drive down the field for nothing. They get a touchdown. We drive down the field, we get a touchdown. Thank you. Huge drive. It's going to lead to a short field. I mean, it's a 4-point game. We are up by 3. Come on, get a touchdown. No touchdown. Our offense is really, it seems like, giving them all the chances in the world, and it will be. Down 4. This drive is a legacy drive. Clock is running out. 3rd and 20. 4th and 6. And it would appear that we left the game with timeouts. Why, EA? Why? 3rd and 20. It was a 14-yard play. Took us 32 seconds to get lined up again, with timeouts, mind you, to get a first down that is going to be well short of the end zone, and time expires. I'm not going to say anything. There's many things I want to say. I'm not going to say it. We all know them. I don't want to go down that road. We lose the Super Bowl. All right, 28 mil. I'm pretty sure we took care of all of our contracts, though. Obviously, you have that 5th-year option question mark, but money is going to become a problem soon enough. We're going to start that tight end we already had. The guard, losing him sucks. He's a really high overall, but some things just got to happen. 28 mil, we're saving that for next year. Free agency, we'll take a... I don't care. We always lose our O in DC because everyone wants our coaches, even though they finally realize it's the development of the team and the scouting process that's really, got these teams going every single season. But let's take a look at free agency just because it's kind of fun to see some of the big names. We saved all that money and we didn't get any extra money, so I guess we needed that money after all. Jalen Hurts is in there, $62 million per year. Thank God we don't have to pay that for our quarterback. Christian McCaffrey's pretty interesting. Ooh, who is this? 26-year-old superstar left tackle. But yeah, I can see why these guys are in free agency. They're really good players, but they're really expensive, and I kind of agree that they're maybe a little too expensive. Randolph is in here, though. I mean, I'm willing to do 10 mil per year on him. Get him back, I would do it, but once again, 10 mil per year. Probably not going to see him come back on that. But hey, if he does, why the hell not? And that's about it. And wow, the Jaguars are willing to pay top dollar. That is expensive, but more power to them. Here we are with pick 9 overall. I'm not actually sure what I would want all the way up here. My needs list would be DT, O-line, wide receiver, corner, safety. Not all those positions are absolute needs, but they're just on the list. So many quarterbacks, especially in these rebuilds where we don't need quarterback. Didn't scout that high for corner, kind of later first round, because I completely forgot that we've, been kind of trading for future first rounds, and a lot of these first rounds have actually kind of worked out pretty well for us. But even then, I don't know if we really need that. Got a couple of wide receivers. I like Frank Irvin. Leggett is not going to be here forever, and having a sick wide receiver 3 wouldn't be the worst, thing to have either. As far as the corners go, also the DT, it's hype. Jose Bradshaw. I don't know if we're going to keep Derek Brown or if we even can keep him, so that's why that's kind of being talked about. But Zeke York in the second round, I think, for corner is fine. Safety, I don't even think I want to go for one yet. Put it on the list, but I don't think I want one yet. I'm going to try to get to 20 and probably grab Irvin just to have depth at wide receiver, especially if, once again, Leggett needs a contract. The Rams really aren't giving me much here. If I go to, 30, I get a first round of, super future. I'm going to go with this. Seattle Seahawks are giving me quite the trade. They end up taking a wide receiver named Carrington. So to move up to that spot 20 that we wanted, we had to trade up 2 fourth-round picks, a 5th and a 6th. One of those 4th rounds was actually a really high pick. The rest are all pretty late. But that's fine. We have pick 31 in this first round as well. But I think with this pick, we're going to be taking Frank Irving, who looks pretty damn good. 6'1", 22, pretty damn athletic. The key ratings are good. And he's in dev. All right. I mean, future-proofing. And also adding a right now good wide receiver 3. I am not against any of that. Pick 31, is there another player that we might want to keep? That safety does look actually pretty good. Who is this? Richard Boyd. That zone coverage could suck. The speed I don't like, so no thank you. Any other options? We do have some safeties. Like I said, I don't really feel like safety maybe is the best move right now. It was, on the list because I think we're losing our strong safety, but am I really that pushed? Probably not. C zone coverage at minimum for Stephenson, who looks pretty good. We also have a strong safety that we used last year. Or drafted last year that we didn't even get to use yet. I really do like Joyner, though. He's like hybrid, right? He's just fast out of play edge. He's probably more of a DT, though. He's not bad, but I do smell a normal dev. Jesse Matthews, kind of similar type player, 21 years old. Fast as hell, but the strength is lacking. I mean, what else would we do, though? You know what? I'm going to take this safety. I know he's 5'9", but the 5'9" types are usually hidden. I don't know what it is, but they just usually are. And I don't know if that's going to be another, situation where they are, but he was. That's all I know. Either way, we have safeties on top of safeties. It's kind of crazy. Like, it actually is kind of ridiculous. If that corner York is there, this is a great draft. There you go. York is there. 6'3", 21 years old. Just fast enough, especially with how tall he is. And even he's hidden dev. I mean, normally the 6'3s and ups, been getting a lot of normals lately. But, hey, that works out for me. They're happy with it. Could need another DT or 2, technically. I think both DTs are actually on the list for re-signing this year. Brian Ash, we obviously have an heir to the throne, but that man, Ash, is very elite. Do you not just get greedy with this as well? This has been one of our more, luxurious rebuilds where we can just kind of take whatever we want because we've had so much depth. I'm going to do it, Brian Ash. I should not have done it, but he's really good depth, so why not? He looks really good, in fairness. All right, offensive line. I mean, Campbell looks great. I'm going to grab Campbell. I also want that linebacker I'm going to trade up for. Robert Campbell. Boom. I feel like this is the closest I'll ever get to knowing what being, a millionaire is like. Just going in and grabbing what I want and not caring. Yeah, I don't care. That is nice. I mean, we're just literally taking whoever we want at this rate. Do have to reach a little bit here if we want to get this. I don't want to get rid of that 3rd if I can keep it. We have a bunch of 6th-round picks. I'm sure that'll, help sweeten the pot a little bit. One more 6 should do it, and we will land ourselves a pretty solid-looking linebacker. I mean, he had a B in zone coverage and block shed. Those are the types that look so clear-cut and safe that'll be normal dev and just, terrible for some reason. So with that being said, regardless, I'm going to be taking him. Luke Whitfield, 22 years old, 6'2", fast, and, of course, normal dev. Could still be really good, though. That's, once again, dev is just, if lucky or not lucky. Anyone else you want to get? This has been a pretty damn good draft, even with that guy being who he is. Did I go with the corner Cates? Kind of want to just, I don't know much about Hill, but he's at least a C for all of that stuff. Do I not just trade up for him and call it a draft? Nah, he's not that great. He's okay, and he probably is hidden, but I'm going to go to 31 and see what we got, because after that, we have, nothing until the 6th round. And somehow the center's actually still there, so I'm definitely going to take him now. Seth Hill and Hindev. Not really surprised by that one bit. Moving on to the 6th round. I don't know if we're going to have anything there, but we'll make it happen. And we do have someone there, a very speedy wide receiver, Travis Thompson, who just so happens to be hidden. This is one of our better drafts. Had a couple of nice drafts lately, and I wouldn't trade him for the world. Safety's there, UDFA, I believe it was, and if he's there, I'll take him. If not, I don't really care too much, and he's not there, I don't really care too much. Already got 2 wide receivers, but why not add a 3rd? Nope, he's not worth it. Feels like it's been a little while since we grabbed a quarterback. This guy doesn't he sucks. Okay, he's the best looking of the bunch, but he is really bad. I mean, these guys all suck. This guy's probably the next best. Devin Quinn. I mean, why not? He's at least fast. Yeah, he sucks. There we go. Every single player besides that really trash quarterback was actually a 70+ overall. This wide receiver is very athletic across the board. Great release. He's got some kick return ability. He's got some juke ability. He's got really good catching. Route running's not that bad. He's wearing 89, but maybe he's deserving of it. What's that, dev? Star dev? I mean, look at the look. It's like he literally copy and pasted himself onto this wide receiver. All of them pretty damn good. He'll be a free safety of the future. Maybe We'll see what happens with him. Number 30, why not? Dev, hey, superstar. That's nice. Usually I grab normal or a star at best safeties. Landing to superstar is new for me. Very good man in zone for Zeke York. So, once again, giving ourselves options if the money becomes too much. Can't afford these players. The guys that are already starting. We've got replacements. And the rest, pretty much, outside of this wide receiver, either basically guaranteed to be star or literally less. His wide receiver does look actually pretty damn good. Probably a superstar, and he is. So, we had ourselves a draft. Year 7, we're getting closer and closer to winning a Super Bowl, but have yet to actually do it. Obviously, the age is catching up for some of the players. Leggett is now 29 years old. Short route kind of sucks, but everything else is amazing on him. What is Bryce Young's age? 28? It'd be nice to get him to X Factor. His throw power is 90, but at the same time, his regression could happen a lot quicker because he's not X Factor. Same with Brooks. We need to at least get to Superstar before we... Okay, what's going on here? Before we even think about X Factor, but we definitely need him to get a dev up as well. Martinez is the starter this year. Defensively, Thomas is the starter. Did Curl retire, or did he just need a contract and I just completely ignored him? Either way, Thomas is the starter. Alden is the backup. Corners are great. We have so much talent on top of, some really good backups that, it's a team that should succeed. Should at least be making the playoffs every single year, and then some. Here we go. Negotiations, 59 mil. Oh, no, some names are here. Porter, absolutely not losing him. Richard, I don't want to lose him either, but he is expensive. Safety, Cobbs, his price is right. We have 59 mil. I think we can maybe keep... Do we keep Cobbs, Porter, and Ricard? Are those the names? So much is this? This is not much at all, actually. It's so 18 million over 7. 126. Really? It's way higher than what he was asking, but sure. Cobbs, he's a safety, but at the same time, the price isn't too bad. 5-year 70. He knew what he was getting, and I don't actually know if we can afford this, man. Okay, so 7-year deal worth this money? We have 1.9 mil left, and maybe we replace both DTs. I don't know, because we can't afford them. Oh, Johnny Walker decided he wanted to be an X Factor. Here he is, gooning it up. Nice. In the playoffs automatically, but if we win and the Falcons lose, we might actually steal the division and potentially a bye week, for all we know. They did lose. We won, but... we did actually steal the division, but did not get the bye week, but that's fine. We stole the division last second, which is definitely impressive. They were holding the division for, basically the whole damn season at that rate. Unbelievable finish. Brooks. Is that Brooks on the list? Look at him go. Is that going to be a superstar dev up at least? I freaking pray, dude. Maybe best running back with, really good yards. It's good, but it's not great. We'll see what happens there. Bryce Young, very good numbers. Low on picks. Brooks was great. Leggett was pretty damn good. Porter was decent. Martinez was good. Offensive line, Morton has been amazing so far. Tackle's definitely their worst season yet as a duo. D-line, great stuff. Albert was the worst, and even then, 8.5 sacks is great. Picks, only 3 of them on the whole year. Black missed 4 kicks, 1 of them blocked. Punting, 50 yards per punt. Let's take a look at the yearly awards. We have ourselves Bryce at number 6. Nobody, that's because that's AFC, idiot. Brooks, number 2, Offensive Player of the Year. Young, number 10. Defensive Player of the Year, number 8 and 9. Offensive Rookie of the Year, number 2, which kind of sucks. We didn't win it. 5 for Ash. Didn't deserve it anyways. Defensively, no. Quarterback at 3. Running back, number 1. There you go. Automatic dev up no matter what. 10 for Porter. O-line at number 3. Morton's been amazing. He's back-to-back number 3 O-lineman of the year. Walker and Brown at 5 and 6 with Ricard at 10. And then you have nobody in the linebacker, DB, obviously not, and then kicker at number 9. And not only to save some time, but also just to give ourselves a different type of chance. I'm going to sim it. I'm going to sim instead of going in and see what that does for us. We win. Oh, the Cowboys, though. I don't like that. And we win. Going against the Packers. If we go to the Super Bowl, I will go into it, obviously. Come on, please. No way. Of all the teams to lose to. The inconsistencies, man. We beat Dallas 35-17. And we lose to the Packers 31-21. I'm sure of it. Let's take a look at the numbers. Bryce Young throwing picks left and right. And Jonathan Brooks terrible playoff performer. We mixed it up. Didn't work out. I'm sad. We move on to the offseason for season number 8, or going on to season number 8, however you want to word it. Packers versus the Browns, which sees please be the Packers, so at least, wow. So we lost to a team that couldn't even win the Super Bowl. Nice. We're going to be losing some players too, so I mean, this is kind of our peak team. Brooks ends up going to Superstar Dev as expected. Martinez goes to Superstar Dev, not surprised. We move on to the defensive side of the ball and do not see any dev ups to my knowledge. Pretty disappointed. Maybe we should have let Cobbs go as well because we are kind of broke. Brooks, at least, he went up in dev. We were really hoping to get that sooner rather than later. Really need to get him to X Factor now so he can stick around for the rest of this rebuild. 2 to truck and 2 to stiff arm again. Last time I upgraded him, you guys seen it. 80 truck, 78 stiff arm, and that's the only time he's got another power upgrade was just now. It's pretty damn good. I would like to see even more in the trucking and stiff arm, but AI's not going to do that. Keep going for that max archetype. Let's go into the re-sign players situation, which even if we add more players we wanted to re-sign, we just couldn't. So Derek Brown is definitely a free agent without a doubt. And there's probably some linemen in there as well, offensively. We have Tom Mill, which is great. I'm glad that we have something and we're not just negative right away. Brown's 100% gone. Smith-Wade's 100% gone. The 6'5" corner's gone. Ratledge, he had his worst year at the worst time on top of, us just being broke. It's not the worst loss of players we've ever seen, especially this late into a rebuild, but we are still losing a few players. I'd love if even more money decided to show up. I highly doubt it will, though, but it'd be great if we seen like 30 mil. 34 mil. Yes. That's what I really wanted to see so bad. Which, I mean, you could technically get Derek Brown back if you really wanted to, but our DT2 now, or about to be DT2, he's not bad. He's not bad. We just got to give him a chance to actually start. Do I still offer Derek Brown a ridiculous low ball, like 18 million guarantee? I mean, not really guaranteed, but you know what I mean, 18 mil? Yeah, that's never going to happen, but we're going to throw it on there, and the Titans will be proud recipients of one Derek Brown. Starting the draft, our biggest positional need, I believe, is a linebacker and lineman, as those are the only 2 positions we actually have on a 1-year deal that are starters this year going into next year. So realistically, even those positions might not even be positions of need, but if I was going to, judge which one, which position group makes the most sense that we do need, that would probably be the one. Everything else is kind of just luxury. Do have a 1 to 2 corner who I didn't get to scout further, and I didn't really like him in the end. And I could go safety. I don't really absolutely love the safeties we have, and I at least at strong safety. And you have a guy like Martin McLeod who could also play corner a little bit, kind of like him a little bit. Wide receiver, there's some options, but I think Leggett is still gonna, he's still going strong for now. Not the strongest class in the world, but I think Martin McLeod, I think the pure value is there, right? He's like basically a cornerback playing safety here, so I'm going to grab him. He's hidden dev. He's 90 speed, 89 XL, which for a safety is not bad at all. And he could even, like I said, play corner, especially at 6'2". Let's go on to pick 30. There was also that DN who could probably play both, outside, inside. And if he's still there, which I think he is not. As you can see, we go from offense to defense, and that defense goes straight to linebacker, which obviously means, our D-line is pretty much useless. I looked at all the DTs and everything. There really wasn't many options, but I suppose we technically don't need anyone. I think with this, we're going to be trading back, getting some more value. The trade backs have been pretty crucial for us, and more importantly, it just makes sense because we don't really have anyone else here, really. We get a 3rd round 2 years from now to move back 10 spots, which isn't bad, but you guys know I'm not really into the whole, slightly move back, slightly gain business. I want to gain quite a bit if I'm trading back. And, the Titans are actually kind of maybe pulling me off that a little bit. The Saints are giving me a type of trade that I usually do go with a lot. I wouldn't hate getting another 1st round next year, though. I would not hate it. Yeah, we're going to make that trade down with the Saints, I think. Going to give us a 3rd round this year, and a 4th round this year, and a 7th round this year, and a 5th round next year, and that's all that matters, I suppose. They do move up quite a bit, though. So at the end of the day, it was a fair trade. It's just, it's a bit of a move up, if you will. Let's take a look at who is available. Probably going to go linebacker sooner or later. The wide receiver Dawson is there, and he is very fast. Wide receiver isn't a problem for us, but I scouted it anyways, and that guy looks good. I got to say, we also have a 6'9" wide receiver. He looks good. That's all I can really say about it. 2 to 3 linebacker. I mean, that's not really the best I've seen, right? We do have Parker Ali, 21 years old, really athletic. Philbin, I think we got to go for someone 21 because we're looking to replace a linebacker that we don't have to replace yet, right? So I want them as young as possible to the sus to obviously take over the spot in the future. I really do like Amari Poe, but he's guaranteed a 2 to 3, which means he's not going to be the highest of overall. Do we not just take Rachel? I almost called her Rachel Dawson. Been watching Batman. Raphael Dawson. I'm going to take him anyways. Hidden I mean, you just can't pass up a good player. If they look like a good player, I'm going to take them. Do we reach for a linebacker now? I think Philbin's probably the best bet. Very fast. He's a little raw looking. Is it Philbin that looks the best, or is it Ali? Yeah, Parker Ali's the guy. And he's headed. All right, so we need another lineman, I suppose, but for the most part, we've sort of taken care of business. I'm not really too worried about it. And I kind of want that 6'9" wide receiver. I can't lie. I really want the 6'9" wide receiver. Joshua Rhodes. He actually looks pretty good catching-wise. He's not the fastest, but he can jump, and he's 6'9", man. Put him at tight end if I have to. Backup tight end, but yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to move down until one of the linemen are there. And if somehow at 21 the wide receiver's still there, I'll take him. But the big question is, who is the lineman we want? We don't really have many options. Fontaine is probably the best bet, even though I don't know much about him other than impact. I didn't realize we were actually this close to our pick. I just gave him a 5th-round pick to move up 6 spots in the 3rd round. I know it's a pretty late 5th-round pick, but that was probably an overtrade. We also have 30 in the 3rd round. The wide receiver's gone. The original guard we were going to go for is gone, but Lidge looks pretty good too. Andy Lidge, 6'4". Going to grab him. I hate that. That annoys me. I'm going to go to 30 because I don't really care for a center type when it's probably a tackle we need to replace anyways. That's why I wanted to go for someone taller, 6'4", 6'5". Kind of got screwed over there, I ain't going to lie. And as far as what we want to do with this pick, I don't really want to do anything with this. I'm going to trade down. We traded down twice to get a 3rd and a 4th next year, basically. And we also added some other picks, like in the 6th or 7th round on top of it. Big problem is here in the 6th round, we don't really have anyone here that we want. And I don't know if I'm going to make a push or a force, if you will. I don't really like any of these players. I guess we'll just try to go for depth, like Hoover. He's sick. He's 23, though, and he just doesn't look very good. Even his running back's 23, but, I mean, he looks good enough. I'm going to grab him. 88 speed, 23 normal. It's a 6th-round pick. What are you expecting? Miracles? You expecting starting caliber hidden dev talent? All right, we have $27 million in the cap. What do we got? 70. Oh my God, the wide receiver has a 79 overall. I just took him because I thought he was pretty good. I didn't know he was that pretty good. Raphael Dawson with, 80s in pretty much everything except for the most important stats, which are speed, which is damn near 99. I mean, at this point, we don't even have a spot on the team. This team is just so good. He's star dev, but what do we do? We have too many wide receivers. Number 4 and number 10 looks better, I think. The safety, McLeod, I kind of want to just start him at strong safety. He looks like he's really solid. He's a hybrid type, which, I'm not a huge fan of, but still, he looks really good. 39, why not? Strong safety and star dev. I was hoping for Superstar Plus, but not going to be the case. Ali, I don't think we have a starting spot for him yet. I think it's one of the outside linebacker spots that we have open or going to have open. Let's take a look at his dev in a moment. Put him at number 50. Star dev. I mean, we're not killing it, but we are getting hiddens, except for the offensive linemen. And then we drafted a bunch of just random dudes that don't matter. Here we are with Season 8. The team actually looks really good. We have a much better depth group than we've had in a long time. The problem is offensive line hasn't really caught up and kept up, if you will, as the depth on this team for the offensive line position is a little iffy, because all the guys that we've had that are extras have been normal dev. I mean, you can see here there's so many players here that are all normal dev that we drafted in the 3rd round, but we still do have a star plus O-line, and that's at least good enough for now. Wide receivers are amazing. A lot of depth there. Dawson and Irving and Thompson. That 3 alone could be a starting wide receiver group, despite the fact that the top 2 are even better. Running back, 97 overall superstar, love it. Bryce Young, 95 overall superstar, love it. Martinez is superstar dev now, great. Linebacker, I think it was Stanford that needed a contract, so him being an X-Factor outside, they might think he's edge. They might ask for 25 per. That's why we have Ali ready to go. Defensive tackle-wise, we have Woodley, who is going to be starting that position at DT2, and then corners, all-star dev. We really need a dev up there. Safeties even. We have Alden, who's a superstar getting wasted, but McLeod arguably might have a higher ceiling because he's a bigger guy, and he could win Rookie of the Year. So I think it's just going to be one of those good problems to have where we just have so many players we don't have positions for them all to play. Next year, the year after, maybe when they're about to be out of their rookie deals, we might end up getting ourselves some pretty good trade value as well. Oh, wow. Okay, so we are very broke going to this season's re-signings, but I'm not too worried about it because, yes, we're going to be losing Stanford, and yes, we are going to lose Ekwonu, but I'll be honest with you, neither of them were going to be re-signed anyways. The price for Ekwonu, 31 plus, likely looking at $35 million per year, never going to happen. Stanford looking at 22-ish mil or more, could happen, not going to. So yes, it sucks we have no money, but at the same time, it's not in the worst year possible as we were not going to be keeping any of the guys that we are about to lose anyways. Wow, we're 13-3, and the Chiefs are 7-9. I don't know if they lost Mahomes or... Oh, we did see Mahomes in free agency, didn't we? I'm pretty sure Mahomes is not there. I think he's a Dolphin, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a Dolphin. Man, I love the human brain. I left this rebuild for another day. And, well, when I say another day, I mean, like, I took a break for a few hours and, did something else and then came back to it. But I don't know how I remember that. I don't know why I remember that, but I don't know why I'm even telling you guys. You guys don't give a damn. Pepsi bottle, Coca-Cola glass. I don't give a damn. Let's take a look at the stats and awards. Look that up on YouTube if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's not something that needs to be seen. But if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about. Bryce Young, 4,100 yards, 43 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Brooks, wow, a lot of rushing touchdowns. Porter, look at all these rushing touchdowns. Went with the Falcons playbook from last year as well, and, it's definitely a very good playbook. I don't think it's as strong as the Chiefs, but it's definitely up there. Defensively, still rocking the Buffalo Bills. Walker, Ricard, Albert, not bad. Where the hell is Woodley? Woodley was terrible, though. Picks, Walker and Horn have a chance at dev ups. I doubt they get it, but it'd be great if they did. It'd be amazing. Those are really the biggest dev ups we're missing right now is those two players. Bryce Young was number 5 for MVP, by the way. Porter, the Offensive Player of the Year, he'll definitely get a dev up to X Factor, which is awesome. Bryce Young should go to X Factor. Brooks, hopefully X Factor. I doubt it, though. Porter did really well. And looking at the offensive line, we had a guy at 6. I don't even know if that was legit. Number 6 for D-line, linebacker at number 7, Trevin. We'd love to see it. Horn and Walker at 5 and 6. Could be dev ups, you never know. And then Black at number 5. And because we had the bye week, and because this is like our best chance so far at winning it all, I'm going to go back in and watch these. If we don't win a Super Bowl here, though, I guess no matter what, if we win a Super Bowl here, if we don't win a Super Bowl here, we're just going to sim the rest of them until we get to the Super Bowl, and obviously we'll go in and watch it. But the divisional round, another rainy game. Maybe I want to do... Nah, I can't do a Panthers franchise in 25 because they have a quarterback. I need a team that sucks at quarterback. I don't want to do the Raiders again, but the Raiders are not a bad team at this point in time either. I would say that should be the top of the list for most people. Honestly, the Raiders are up there for... Just need so many positions that are fun to develop, Looking at our team, though, here, it looks like the Seahawks are going to beat us. Why did I go in? We just got swamped by a team that's nowhere near as good as us. This is crazy, man. Bryce was ass. Rushing was okay, but not really. It's good yards per carry. It's like we didn't have the ball or something, Defensively, they were better than us. I mean, we just sucked again. Why are we so ass? That's all I want to. That's all I want to ask. Is why are we so ass? Is it too much to ask for to not suck? I guess so. Apparently. I mean, I don't want to hear anyone, it's, I seen someone, which, I mean, fair enough, because it wasn't the Houston Texans playbook. They said facts, but they were like, the reason why you did that well with the Houston Texans 10-year rebuild is because you were on the Falcons playbook and not the Texans. It would never happen. Maybe. I've actually seen the Texans do okay statistically, maybe not win-loss Super Bowl-wise, but okay statistically. But you can see here, I mean, this is the best team in the league right now, and we can't even consistently get to the championship round, let alone the Super Bowl, so... It's not this, he's using the Falcons playbook, automatic wins for Super Bowls. That Texans rebuild from our franchise was still very impressive. The Cardinals win the Super Bowl, and we ended up losing to a team that didn't even make the Super Bowl. No retirements for us, but it doesn't really matter because there's going to be retirements from this team specifically when we can't afford them in a moment. We have a little bit of money, so we're not completely screwed. We could probably even make it work for one of those two players if we wanted to, but I think we are going to move on. you got to save money somewhere. You can't afford every player. That's just the name of the business. And a linebacker and tackle, even though it's a very good tackle, high rated player, are two positions I'm willing to let go of, especially with how much they cost specifically. You kind of have no choice. Doug Black wasn't bad, honestly. I'm gonna lowball him a little bit. I'm gonna do a 3-year 12. Yeah, I mean, okay. I could also tag him for probably cheaper. That's not a truthful thing. What had happened is I lied. Hopefully there's some more money in a moment. Sometimes that happens. Last year it did. And it did again. Okay, so with $37 million, which is fine. Don't want to spend any of it, though. Aquanu, there's no way, especially since he's red interest, that we'll ever get him. Could go Dexter Lawrence, though. I, once again, am going to lowball because I don't want to completely cripple this team for one player that's not even really, like, the biggest positional need in the world and really that big of a needle mover, if you will. But at that price, at 18 mil on a year, I would absolutely be doing that. There's no doubt I'm willing to do that. But yeah, there's a really good group of free agents here, and I'm going to be going for Dexter Lawrence, who will get a better offer in a moment, and apparently not. His interest is climbing, by the way. I mean, there's a chance we get him here. Nobody wants him, or they just can't afford him. On an $18 million deal, I am down, so we'll see what happens. But as of right now, we are going to future-proof again. We have our linebacker for the future already, though, with Ali. But there's probably even more on the horizon that need to be replaced, like J.C. Horn. He's regressing. I know we have York. Do we maybe even trade? Nah, no one's going to trade for a 31-year-old corner. Like, what are you going to get for a 31-year-old corner? Apparently a lot. I was wrong. Ooh, that's not a bad trade for both sides. They're getting a very good corner, and we're getting a mid-level tackle. But we're getting a third-round pick, and we already have a corner to replace him. Josh Day's a really good trade piece. You know what? I'm actually going to take this, I think. Kyle McLeod. And, yeah, unfortunately, J.C. Horn, that age caught up, man. I know he never got the dev up, which is really the big reason why he's not a better overall and, more regression-proof. But I got to say, his age caught up. We could also move Chester Cobbs back to corner because we have Alden. That's also an opportunity. This is why, it's full circle. All of these DBs we've been drafting, it might actually finally pay off a little bit. But yeah, we're with this tackle on the team now. We technically don't need really anything. We even have our linebackers in order. I guess I'll take a quick look ahead to see if we have to replace anyone like Leggett. But once again, our wide receiver room's amazing. So yeah, we're just in a really good spot. It's just our overalls aren't the highest. So while we have, potential at each position, they're not also that strong at each position. We also saved a bunch of money, apparently, by getting rid of Mr. Horn. So we're definitely going to need a wide receiver, except for the fact that we already have some. We're going to need a linebacker, so we'll definitely draft one. I don't think we're going to pay Trevin again. And then DT again, I think, is going to be a big need. So O-line, DT, really the biggest issues. Maybe another linebacker. That's really where we stand. And other than that, I mean, the team's in a decent financial spot, especially this late into a rebuild. Normally, we'd be losing major names, which, yes, we lost a left tackle. Yes, we lost a left out. But technically, we didn't even have to. We could have kept one of them if we wanted to. But let's skip a week, see if we end up getting Dexter Lawrence. I pray we do, because something's got to give with this team. Like, we're doing pretty well. We got the bye week, and we get smoked by the Seahawks, who don't even make this Super Bowl, let alone win it. So it's like, we lost to a team that didn't even come close either. It's like, where are you then at that point? And then Dexter's still not accepting the deal. Someone's going to sneak in and steal him. He might just go to free agency, because at this rate, how can nobody else be offering? Washington took Quinnen. I'm not really sure what they see in him over Dexter. I guess he moves around a little bit better, but realistically his athleticism isn't much better. I don't know. I mean, they're both really good players, so I guess to be fair, maybe their interest is more green, because honestly, if both were green, I probably actually would take Quinnen over Dexter at this point. It's a little bit better of a pass rusher than Quinnen, but Quinnen is more athletic, I think. Nah, I'd probably still take Dexter, but I do like Quinnen being able to move around a little bit because that weight is a lot less, but we'll see. Dexter Lawrence is still one of the only team offering him. And I just noticed that Dexter Lawrence actually did join the squad, so this DT room has absolutely exploded. We have 290-something, 93, 94 overall, plus X-Factor DTs, two very different types as well. You mix them up, and they like 325 pounds together. Dexter Lawrence is carrying that. We move on to 27. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do here. Probably just best available, maybe future-proof the linebacker and lineman positions, but best available at least in the first round. There was a really nice corner. We got some D-line, actually. Could use a DT as well going forward. As Dexter, I highly doubt we keep him more than a year. And, I got to take Woodley, actually. I got to take Woodley. 5'11", 22 years old, decently fast. A-man coverage, you got to go for him. Yeah, he's hidden dev. Yeah, I mean, it felt like he was going to be a good player. Never mind those DTs, I suppose. I don't remember if I had any later DTs. Brett Bowie actually stayed a lot longer than I thought. I know he's with 2 to 3, I believe, but still, I thought he would have gone sooner. We obviously had the focus scouting on the interior of the line. I think DT is still kind of a need. Got a finesse type DT right there. I mean, I like that. I think I'm going to go. That's the wrong guy. Joseph. I know we scouted you further, and maybe we come back for you, but not right now. TJ Mitchell, wish he was 21. Very athletic, but not very strong. This could be an iffy one. I'm still going to do it because he's weird enough. Yeah, he's weird enough, and he's stronger than I thought. 29 reps does not feel like 85 strength. 29 reps should be like 82, 83 at best. Move on to the next round where there should be a lineman. Fulcher went. Maybe we don't have one. This would be a perfect draft. Who the hell even is this guy, by the way? It would be a perfect draft if we land ourselves a hidden dev lineman here. Maybe even trade up and get another one if we're feeling a little frisky. We got multiple linemen here. Davis looks pretty good, but everyone else looks a little iffy, I got to admit. And it sucks that we scouted all these linebackers. We don't know everything about them. We know a lot, but we don't know everything. I think we're going to go with Damian Davis. If he's hidden, which I pray he is, then I'll trade up for one of the last linebackers. That works for me. That works for me. I like that. We were left with Fryer very quickly, but I think he's pretty good. 6'1". Once again, wish he was 21 because he's going to be sitting similar to Ali, but I don't hate that. And of course, it's the Buccaneers in front of us. I mean, we see interdivisional trades all the time, and I will say, of all the teams in the league to have kind of an unexpected, I don't know what direction they're going to take route, our team is definitely one of those teams, one of the highest teams. Like, how would you even know what the hell we want? And there we go. I kind of felt like it was going to be a little bit too low, so I feel good about that trade, at least, knowing that it wasn't enough in the beginning. But yeah, it's not like, we're trying to go for a wide receiver or a quarterback or something, and then like, oh, that's who they're going for, obviously. Like when the Bears traded up for Fields, everyone in the world knew where he was going to go at that point. But this pick, you just don't know. So you don't probably care as much if you feel like you're getting good value. Craig Fryer, and he's hidden dev. We're future-proofing. We are the future-proofers. The only thing that's really kind of sucking about this rebuild so far is we haven't really seen a whole lot of day 3 linemen. It's been a lot of 2 and 3s and 3 and 4s, and that's really about it. A lot of running backs here, so do I not just go a little crazy and grab yet another linebacker, Shamir Fuller, who's also really athletic? I'm going to do it. Normal dev, he's not as athletic as we thought. I don't care, though. I really don't. 21, I'm hoping one of the running backs are there. Maybe I should have slow simmed it, but because it's a running back and because I don't even need one yet, it's more of a next year thing, I'm willing to go to this spot, which of course ends up working out anyways. Kendall Arrington, normal dev, some iffy ratings in between, but 90 speed's great. And at 27, I mean, if that other running back's there, I'm going to take him too. I mean, we have so many 4th, 5th, 6th because of last year's trade downs that we kind of have that luxury. Ellison, 228, 22, really fast. Boom, normal dev. It'd be a little excessive to do it again, but if that other running back's there at 2, I might do it. I'm getting crazy. Like, have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen this many running backs in a row? Like, have you ever seen this? Because you're going to. And none of them are hidden, damn. So we're going to employ 5 running backs this season because we're going to be losing several next season. So, we'll have a really young group of running backs going forward. Unless one of them is a really low overall, I might just straight up release him early, but that's something we'll have to wait on. And he's hidden dev. I was about to say, even though this guy's 23, I like the athleticism. He's going to be one of those, like, barely startable, like, low overall star dev guys, but hey, he's hidden dev. It's better than not being hidden dev. I mean, what else can you argue about it? That's where I'm at. All right, we ended a draft with a couple of iffy picks, but, we should still be able to get a kicker from free agency. We got a lot of money left. Maybe not that much money. $18 million left after signing Dexter. The cornerback 1 was great. DT was a really low overall, I will admit. Left guard, 73 overall is fine. Middle linebacker, 71 is fine. Fuller, 70 overall was kind of a waste. All of the running backs are 70 overall, and like we talked about that outside linebacker, I kind of want to look at his dev real quick, but yeah, let's be real about it. Looking like Luke Kuechly, but ass. So not like him. Star Dev, yeah, I thought maybe there was a chance he would have been like freaky good, but not going to be the case. Woodley, likely going to be one of those Star Dev guys, but you never know. Almost never see them as X Factor, but you usually see Star, sometimes Superstar. And it is going to be Star Dev this time around. Take a look at TJ Mitchell. Why not? He's not going to start this year anyways. And hell, we got is Woodley still on the roster? Because if he is, I mean, we got him wasting away too. Either way, not like a ridiculous high dev draft, but a decent draft. We got some depth. Future-proofed again at positions like linebacker, O-line. All right, we end up trading 2 offensive linemen that are normal dev that are on 1-year deals, and Woodley, who's on a 1-year deal, for a second-round pick from the Cardinals. I got to say, probably could have gotten a little bit more than that, maybe a second and a third or something like that, because Woodley is pretty good, but he's on a 1-year deal, same as Dexter Lawrence. I'd probably rather pay Dexter Lawrence another season than to repay Woodley long-term, so I think that was the plan there, and yeah, we got an extra draft pick for next year's draft, which is actually technically the last draft. Here we go, it's Season 9. Some of the overalls aren't as high as I would hope. Like, I was hoping the tight end would have been a little bit better right now. Leggett, I think at this point, you're not going to do much better than him at wide receiver 2. Then we look at the defensive side of the ball, and, I mean, we got some talent. Trevor Wallace is an X factor. I didn't really even think about that. DTs are amazing. The D-line in general is amazing, in fairness. Corner definitely took a bit of a hit trading off. I can't say losing, because trading off Horn, but at Star Dev, 87, 88 overall. This is the smart move. Was gonna put Cobbs at corner, but I feel like York is actually really set up. He's only 23 years old. He's already about to be 81 overall. His man coverage is great. I think it makes more sense to do this instead of weakening our free safety group to slightly improve our cornerback group. Rather let the corner just develop and keep that free safety position really strong. Alden's still kind of being wasted here as a superstar dev, but what can you do? I mean, his ratings are kind of low, and the other guys already got higher ratings, and, you know, dev doesn't mean everything, especially when it's like star dev compared to superstar dev. If it's like normal versus superstar, yeah, there's no doubt about it. But yeah, let's head on, see if Season 9's the year. Is this going to be our first 10-year rebuild where we don't win a Super Bowl? Next on the turnaround of the season, $62 million. Oh, I wanted to keep Trevin so bad, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Baker, I don't know if that fits the timeline. Morton, I'd like to keep at least one of these linemen, and Morton looks like the guy. Don't want to lose Leggett, but at the same time, I mean, we're really broke. So Dexter Lawrence is basically confirmed he's not on the team with the ask he's got, which, you know, fair enough, whatever you want to ask for, but yeah, we can't afford that probably. This is tough. 62 mil is not terrible, but I don't know if I can make these contracts. Like $22 million. He's at middle linebacker, remind you. And he wants $22 million per. Yeah, I can't do that. I can maybe do a tag. That's the best I can do. Martinez, I think we'll give him a longer-term deal. It's not crazy per year, and more importantly, he is superstar. He's already a really high overall. Morton, you really can't pay linemen too much, but this is a pretty good value for a guy at his overall. I think the center we let go. And honestly, we let everyone else go. Can't really even force anything, really. Like, we kind of are forced to let these guys go. Leggett, I just don't see how we can afford him. He's going to regress a little bit more as well. We'll see. It might be close. Maybe we'll keep a couple more guys near the end of the season, or if a little bit of money shows up. But as of right now, I think this might be... Well, actually, no. We can pull off the offer on Trevin next week and maybe put that on to Leggett for, like, a 2-year if he's interested, but that's about it. Wait, Albert? I thought it was like one of those, like, one of two things, like you're getting the breakout, and then I just forgot that he actually earned the breakout. Same as Walker. These edge rushers have done it. All right, win or lose, we should be in the playoffs. It was a little bit of a shaky season. Lost 3 in a row, and then won a bunch in a row, and then started losing again. But overall, we end up finishing the season off at 11-6. Show you guys the actual season. Brooks in the top 3 for rushing. Hopefully he gets a dev up. Like I said, lost the first 3 and then won like 6 or 7 in a row. Lost 2, won 1, lost 1, won 3. So overall, a lot of winning streaks. A lot of win streaks overall. And it was enough to make the playoffs. And that's what we're hoping for. Once again, I don't want to hear about this whole like Falcons playbook is so OP type of thing when this team should be better. It really should. We're making the playoffs. We're not the strongest every year, which we probably should be with the talent we have. Looking at the receivers, Porter was great again. Porter's been pretty damn good throughout this thing. Blocking was actually really good, especially from the guard spot. And then looking at sacks, Walker and Albert were great. Lawrence was definitely a disappointment, considering he was supposed to be this like great player coming in and just going to save the DT spot and improve it. Didn't really do that. Paul Parks, the rookie, was terrible. Griffith was decent. And kick returns, no touchdowns. Could have been one for punt return, but who cares? Clay Gore is your MVP. He's a Cowboy. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Brooks, which is great. Any other award wins? The Vikings with 2. It's not often you see the AI with Rookie of the Year on both sides of the ball. Best quarterback, number 3. Best running back, number 1. Brooks hopefully does get that dev up. Wide receiver, surprisingly, we would have seen Porter there, and I guess not. O-line, Morton was number 2. It would have been so clutch. I hate the Vikings. They stole everything. They took it all from us. D-line, we have Albert at 6. Walker not on the list? Really? Okay, I guess not. Linebacker, no. DB, no. Kicker, apparently number 10, but definitely not in terms of winning it. There was no chance. Here we go against the 89 overall Cardinals. They're only 4 overalls less than us, and they have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, so you really do never know. We have their second-round pick, obviously, with that pretty big, I wouldn't say blockbuster trade, but 3 capable young starters. So winning this would not only help us for a chance to get the Super Bowl, but also our draft pick, which this drive actually ends in a turnover, punt, something. We have the ball, that's all I know, and the clock is draining. 4th and 11, you have to have it. Not even just have to have it, but you also have to stop the clock. Glad Campbell's scratching his ass at a time like this. One thing that does suck about the Falcons playbook is I feel like actually using it, it's really not that good, but let's get a block from Brooks. I don't want, a play action to ruin us. Quick throw to Martinez. Could get a block. Gets the block! Does he have the speed? He doesn't. I don't know what you want to do here. I think you want to save that timeout. That's a hell of a play, though. Really not even what I want, but look at all that clock go. And, yeah, let's just look around while we're getting up to the line. He got pressed hard, by the way. Good try. 12 seconds left. Maybe I should have called that timeout. 19-yard line. 12 seconds left. Verticals. Could maybe get behind the defense. I don't know. This is going to be like a timeout-like play, I'd say. I mean, we're going to force that. It's a bad throw. Porter would have had it. Porter would have had it. Bad throw by Bryce. Back to 4 verts again. I mean, if Porter goes inside leverage, maybe even Martinez, we'll see. Oh, he's open. Back of the end zone. Touchdown, Dawson. Did he get the foot down, though? That left foot kind of looked like it was lifted a little. It's an unbelievable play. If it is caught, that would win the game. I can't believe they played zone in a situation like that. See it? A little overthrown considering the guy's wide open. That left foot looks raised. He looks like he tapped it down. Did he have the ball in his hands at that point, though? That's the question. Is it going to be a challengeable play? It doesn't look like it will be. And we, I would assume, are moving on. Unbelievable. I think the AI could have maybe done it. Maybe. But they would have definitely not managed the clock well. Plays-wise, they might have gotten it, but clock management-wise, not a chance. Brooks was amazing with that 78-yard run. I mean, he had more yards by, another 33% over their 2 running backs who had more than double his carry attempts, which is unbelievable. Porter was all right. There's nothing really spectacular going on for the receiving game. Sacks, basically nothing. Just kind of a boring game, even though it's 31-28. Like, the pressures maybe were there, but actual sacks, picks, stuff like that really weren't common. To the divisional round. I just wanted to say and beyond after that. The Saints, okay, 88 overall versus 93. Not really liking that rival. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but the Texans have moved on. Imagine this ended up becoming a Panthers versus Texans Super Bowl. I wish it was year 10 if that does happen, but we had to at least make the Super Bowl, and so do they, for that to even have a chance. But looking all right so far. First half was decent. Touchdown on a 2-point for the Saints, though. Defense is doing its job. There's no doubt about it. The offense is struggling. But the offense will do enough. 28-11, the defense cooked up. Limited the Saints all game long. And Manning, oh my God, that's a terrible performance. Nothing special going on there. Leggett, look at him cook. Sacks, Johnny Walker was great. Albert was great. Walker was really good. I'm really surprised, though, that, the quote-unquote non-real-life players actually did really well in this rebuild. Especially the edge. Both guys, consistently getting double-digit sack numbers, which is, hard to do no matter who you are in this game, even in a 4-3. But championship round. I wonder if the Texans are going to win it. It's the Vikings. Oh, not the Vikings. They have ruined everything. We have 4 overalls. Come on. Going to the end of the game. They stole all of our awards. Can we steal their Super Bowl spot? 7-3, 7-6. Defense is doing its job. Offense is not finishing with touchdowns, though. Oh, my God. That could have been huge. I don't know how we're fumbling in the playoffs at this point, but we are. Why is our offense so bad in big moments? They're moving down the field like they're the ones losing. This is crazy. Okay, I guess we're running Chiefs. We're running the Chiefs scheme for final year. That is crazy, dude. A team this good only putting up 7 points in the Super Bowl against the Vikings. That is just insane, man. The Vikings own us. Bryce Young's ass. Oh, my. That's so annoying. That is just so annoying. 7 points in the freaking championship round. I hope it's the Texans on the other side. I want them to make Bryce feel bad. I want it to happen. That is pitiful. We have the talent. The only reason why we lose that game is because of Bryce Young. Hands down. Only reason. 22 points, especially with how bad the offense was, is not a lot of points to overcome. It really isn't. Especially, once again, with how bad the offense was, giving them short fields and staying off the field all game long. Hopefully the Texans win. I want Bryce to feel terrible. I want the pressure to be on him. Yes, 38-3. It's not only did he win and the Texans won, but they smoked the Vikings. If that doesn't motivate Bryce, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. Brooks goes up in dev, which is amazing. Martinez goes up in dev, which is amazing. Specifically, though, Brooks, that is a huge dev up because obviously you already see that he's regressing. Already. He's 29. I thought he was 28 this season, but he's going to be regressing. Get that speed back with that upgrade. X Factor might save him for a couple more seasons, obviously. Looking at defense, obviously Martinez got a dev up. Kind of just ignore that. Defensively, was it Albert that wasn't? No, we had X Factor from the breakout. Everything else, though, no dev ups. This could be the first one. The very first 10-year rebuild where we don't get a Super Bowl win. We're going to go with the Chiefs playbook, see if that changes anything. But realistically, it might just be, quote-unquote, a failure. Haven't even made the Super Bowl. Actually, that might be a lie. It was a couple seasons back, but yeah, I do remember us making the Super Bowl. Man, I wish we would actually won it, though. Just those big moments. It feels like we just suck. We can't do anything. And, this is another year where we're probably losing, more stars. I mean, look at Leggett, dude. He's an 87 overall. Like, what am I doing with an 87 overall out here? Free agency? I don't think it will be, though. That's the problem. I think you're lying to yourself. Hobart, I mean... Do we really, on our final season, want the roster to be the worst it's been? 1 year, 20. I don't even know how this helps me. Probably get it cheaper off this tag. I mean, 23 mil, 24 mil, why not? If we had more seasons to go, maybe. But we literally have 1 season left. I don't want to, rework the roster, rebuild the roster this season. This is the stupidest time to do it. See what kind of retirements we see. Derek Brown actually retired, speaking of. Not on our team anymore, but... he is off the squad. I don't feel like I seen Dexter Lawrence on our re-signs. Was it just because we withdrew? I don't know. But either way, he's a free agent. Mahomes, Darisaw. There's some really good names, obviously, because once again, teams just can't afford these players. But realistically, do you spend any money? I don't hate some of these contracts, though. I don't want to lose wide receiver, but we do have a couple of wide receivers that are... they've been slowly working up the ranks a little bit, so maybe we just let it happen. And then we take Elijah Vera-Tucker to play center. Elijah Vera-Tucker, 1 year, 12.5. Not bad. New center. All right, here we are with pick 30 in the first round. I'm debating on what I want to do here. Didn't go for any DBs because we're actually pretty damn solid at that position right now. DT is the biggest need. Chris Peterson looks the best, in my opinion. He's pretty strong. Okay athleticism. Great tackle, great block shed, decent power move. And I think that's enough. Even as a 2 to 3, that could be all the way up to pick 11 or 12. You get that fifth-year option in the first round, and boom. Yes, he's in dev. Okay, I got to be honest, I was feeling normal dev, but I was also feeling normal dev for most of the DTs. So it works out. That's all I can really say. And even though we don't really need a wide receiver, because our wide receiver 2 is already a pretty good overall, even though he's more of a slot type player, I also do like some of these other guys here. So I think, honestly, I could probably just go to 21. There's so many 2 to 3s. Unless they're all gone somehow, you would assume one of them slips through the cracks. And because it's not that big of a positional need, technically, I'm not really forced on it. I thought they were all gone. The 6'5" wide receiver's still there, actually. Dorian Allen, also another really good running back, looks really good. But Brooks still probably has another, 3 seasons in him now that he has X Factor. If he wasn't X Factor, I would have probably taken that running back right there and then. But because he's X Factor, I might go with Keon Badgley, who's 21 years old. He's 6'5". He's pretty damn athletic. He looks like a Mike Evans type. I'm going to grab him. Yeah, I really felt good about his hidden dev chance, and obviously very athletic for a guy his size. So that's a really good wide receiver. Probably wide receiver 2 right out the gate, to be honest. I picked 30 in the second round, unless there's a really insane-looking linebacker, which Wembley actually is kind of one of them. I'm thinking we go with offensive line. There's actually not much offensive line available in general, so it's probably Vogel or Rosenberg. Vogel's a little bit bigger. He's 21 years old. I'm going to take Vogel. There you go. 90 strength, hidden dev. Once again, future-proofing the O-line. Got ourselves a future guard, potentially. Let's move on to the next round and probably slow sim until we get to the last linebacker. I want one linebacker. Allen went all the way there, and, of course, to the rival Buccaneers. There we go. Trading a 6 and a 7 to move up 6 spots at the Cowboys. You end up with the last linebacker. Not my favorite move in the world because I thought there was 2 linebackers left. I thought Wembley was one of 2. And technically that's correct, but Coles is not my favorite player. I wanted Rush or Wembley, and unfortunately we're stuck with Coles. I personally think he's not going to be very good, but let's see. Okay, I mean, he's hidden dev. I was wrong. I don't know if I would say 84 acceleration is poor either, by the way. That's what the game listed it as. I don't think I agree. We have a billion draft picks here, and I was about to say, I don't feel like we're going to have a billion players, which is kind of correct. We got a running back here who looks kind of mid. I'm going to take him. I don't even need running backs. So I'm not really sure why I keep grabbing them, but I do and have. I don't know why I keep grabbing these guys, but I do, apparently. That's the English on it. Wide receiver, we ended up with 1. Don't really need more than 1, but, I mean, we'll look around. Got some athleticism there with an 8 catch in traffic, and then we have this guy who is pure athleticism. 4.42, actually a little bit slower than I remembered, but I don't think I want either of them. I mean, we're pretty set at wide receiver. I don't know if we're also going to find anything else we want, though, unfortunately. Who's this guy? He's a weird-looking build. 22-year-old Washington. Oh, why not? Why not? He's normal dev, but why not? That's fast. Here we go. We're broke as hell, but this is the draft class we had. 76 for the DT, which is the biggest positional need we had going in. Everyone else was kind of a secondary, yeah, we'll need him at some point probably, but we don't really need him that bad right now. Badgley was okay, but yeah, Peterson being 76 overall as a D-end is really strong because he'll probably be a 77, 78 overall as an actual DT. Star dev, unfortunately. Really haven't had that much of luck with Superstar Pluses. I know we had a few of them. We even had an X Factor DT, but wow, 79 as a DT. Okay, I mean, I figured he'd go up pretty high. Starting off as that D-end overall, you always go up. Very good catching. Pretty damn good release. Route running's a little iffy for Badgley, but yeah, he's a good player, and I would love to see higher than Star. This is the guy I would expect to be higher than. Okay, I thought he would be higher than Star. I was thinking Superstar, not Superstar X Factor. Okay, that is a win. Never mind. We've had one Superstar/Superstar X Factor every other season-ish. So we've done pretty well, actually. Coverage, not that good for Coles. He's a big dude, doesn't really surprise me. Change direction's not great either, and he's Superstar. Okay, we're not going to see him used because it's the final season in this rebuild, and we don't really need a linebacker this season, but that's a good draft. That is definitely a good draft class. There we go for the final season. Obviously, the wide receiver room took a hit, but we have an X Factor that's waiting in the mix. He could go 82 overall by the end of the season easily. Martinez, 86 overall X Factor. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver 1 are all 97 plus, which is great. O-line, very good. 88 center, 88 right guard. The other positions are 82, 83, which isn't terrible, though. Then you look at the defensive side of the ball, 2 linebackers that are 91 plus. D-lines all, besides DT2, I suppose, 94 plus. Corner 2's not the best, but we're doing what we can here. It's definitely not our strongest roster we've ever built, but a lot of that does come from the fact that we just haven't really won many playoff games. We've done an okay job, but not an amazing job. $70 million, more negotiations. Alden, I feel like it's such a waste that we never developed him, but what can you do? Campbell's low. York is low. Hill's not even that expensive. So I think it's just like at this point in the rebuild, you know, the salary cap, the market is reset a little bit, and you're not as like broke because of it. So while the salary cap isn't increasing at a proportionate rate that it probably should be, because teams can't afford their players, because of that, the market's resetting. So one way or another, you know, you're able to afford a lot of your guys. Of course, a lot of these contracts are pretty low for real life, but at the same time, once again, we're 10 years into a Madden rebuild where the franchise isn't even built to be lasting more than like 5 years. That's what I would say EA's expected a franchise to last, about 5 years, and then someone does a new one. So it feels like the long term of these rebuilds, these franchises, aren't really built to keep up, which is why some of the contracts get all funky. Alden at some point or another is going to be a starter on this team, I feel, and we're just going to superstar sign him. I don't know what that means. That's going to be a term EA uses in the future at some point, but I just feel like the value's there. And yes, I know Thompson's a superstar, but I think with how many good wide receivers we got coming in and out of the lineup or the roster every year, it's probably worth letting him go and just re-signing the core three we have. Everyone else is, I mean, not backup level, but you know, for the most part, outside of the linemen, they're probably backups. You just get a new linebacker, and you're in a really good spot again with money to spend. Another iffy start, but a very good finish. This team will be making the playoffs again, and the unfortunate thing is we have to face the Vikings, who did get smoked by the Texans in the first round. We got smoked by them, though, in the championship round, so you know, it's a scary one to have the final season come down to facing off against the team that is not really struggled against us. Let's take a look, though, at the stats and awards. First stats, Bryce Young, amazing. I would assume even his best season yet, which is really not a surprise because we ended up going with, actually not his best season. Forgot about that year. Outside of that, though, I would argue his best season, even better than that, even though the passer rating is a little bit lower for this season. But, yeah, the Chiefs playbook, it's going to do it for you. And like I said, I mean, even this one, I would argue, because of the yards, was probably better than 2030, right? You're getting less yards per attempt, but 3% higher completion percentage, and the yards per game is better. I think, you know, I like that more for him. But, yeah, the Chiefs playbook, it comes in clutch as it always does. Brooks did well. Martinez was amazing. Badgley was decent. But everyone else, you know, kind of lackluster. Kind of a spread offense, obviously. You're not going to see the greatest wide receiver one type numbers. Morton, another really good year. Maybe this is the year he actually gets the win for offensive lineman of the year. Walker was great. Albert was great. DTs were a little lackluster, especially Peterson. I know he's a rookie, but still 2 whole interceptions. Dicker missing 2 kicks, one of them being blocked. Griffith, 51.5 yards per punt, which is great. And then we look on to the awards. Quinn Ewers is going to be your MVP. Bryce Young at number 3. Brooks wins Offensive Player of the Year again. He's won that multiple times now. Rookie of the Year for Peterson. Best QB. Second best running back, which is weird because I don't know how you go for Best Offensive Player of the Year, but you're not the best running back. I'm sure, I guess. Wide receiver, definitely not on the list. O-line, Morton finally does win that Offensive Lineman of the Year award, which we were hoping for. 7 for Walker. D-line linebacker, anyways. Number 10 for Barton. DB, not on the list because we had like no picks this year, and then kicking at number 9, which I guess makes sense because the volume wasn't great, and of course the 2 missed kicks out of that small volume is kind of significant if you think about it. And because the final season, we'll go back into actually watching the games. Actually, didn't I do that already? I think I forgot to sim the games, and I don't know, who cares? I'm all over the place in this one. All right, going to the end of the game. Let's see it. 7-0, 3-7, 14-3. Defense playing worse than the last time we played them. 14-6. The offense is playing about the same, though. I don't know what it is about the Vikings, but they are a kryptonite, no? Nice touchdown. Okay, we don't get the 2-point, but if we get 1 stop, which we did, 6 minutes left, touchdown would give us the lead. 4th and 12. You can't go for the field goal here. Okay, at least they understood. At least they understood the assignment not to go for the field goal. I don't know if I like this play. You're looking at Porter, and if not Porter, you're looking for the late deep in from Dawson. Tight end, we got to force it. No way he holds on but goes backwards. There's no way in real life he would fight that. I pressed no buttons to try and fight, and he fought when he had the first down. What a throw by Bryce. While being hit, he catches it and slips off the tackle. That is unbelievable. There's no way. And 3rd and 6, I mean, you have to have the stop. Unless it's a throw and an incompletion, you know, on a different down, whatever. And why is our guy... He didn't get it. He didn't even realize the ball was in his hands. There's no way. Isn't that our former tight end as well? 4th and inches, they're not going to go for it. I don't know. I think I'd go for this, especially since we're not even lined up to stop the fake. I'd go crazy if I was the punter. I would just call my own number. Imagine the punter calling his own number. There you go. Nice return. We're going to let the AI have their hand at it again, even though Bryce Young has been just horrible in these playoff games, it seems. I mean, we're going for we can't even move the ball more than 4 yards with 3 attempts. But we wasted 50 seconds somehow. I'm not really sure how that works. Double drag. The backup tight end, what a bait. I can't believe that. That is an unbelievable bait. We go for the strip. Not going to get it, and we lose the game. Bad read by me, I suppose. The wheel route was open. The worst part is the guy has, no hip movement ever. So it's, almost obvious he's not going to follow up the field. Maybe should have waited for the other tight end. We had the inside. Badgley's wide open. That's a terrible read to end the rebuild. That is one of my worst reads. Kind of just predetermined, thinking, one of the drags is going to get open, and I got picked off by what seems to be an edge rusher. I'm the worst. Of course, Bryce Young, he didn't throw a pick before that, but he didn't do enough. And that's really the big thing in this 10-year rebuild is that Bryce Young had the talent around him, and he just didn't do enough. Yeah, super lackluster. I mean, a 10-year rebuild and you don't even get a single Super Bowl win is never the way I want to go out. And even worse than that is they don't even take that spot to the Super Bowl. So we went to the Super Bowl once, lost by 3 to the Chargers, and that was the best we could do. And there's no secret agenda here or anything. There's been a bit of, CJ Stroud / Texans over Panthers slander, but it's all been, I think in good fun. It's not really been I'm so serious about it. Bryce Young's terrible. This way too early to judge his career kind of situation. But he looks really good ratings-wise and just... for the most part, I don't know if it's because he's on the shorter side. I really do feel like the shorter quarterbacks do really not... really not even just shorter quarterbacks. Shorter quarterbacks and running backs don't usually do super well in simp. But at the end of the day, whatever the reason, this team underperformed. Simply put, Porter, his deep route is 70, but everything else is ridiculous. 99 catch, 99 catch of traffic, 99 spec, 99 jump, 99 release, 99 short route. Unbelievable, right? Really good stiff arm even. The guy literally became a Jordy Nelson clone outside of the deep route. It was ironically enough because that was his thing. Jordy's thing is the deep route. Brooks is still really good despite being, on the regression side of things. His speed is, kind of lackluster but insanely jukeable, elusive, if you will. Badgley, he's, kind of new, but 80 overall. Why not take a quick look? Release isn't the best, but yeah, he's got a super high upside. Martinez, 89 overall. Once again, kind of felt like his overall should have been higher than this by now, but he's still really good at catching, good route running, and he's fast enough, obviously. O-line, does anyone care? No, they do not. Trevin Wallace, obviously, we want to take a look at. He's a 91 overall. He's 30 years old. Coverage is really good. He's athletic as hell. Would likely be looking to get rid of him, though, because we just can't afford him. Barton, he's been a guy that's been on the team for a while now, and never got that dev up, but he's really, really good. Actually had himself a pretty good season as well. Ali, I guess we'll take a look at. He's 85 overall. He's not spectacular, but he's only 24, 25. Great block shed, decent coverage ratings. DB McLeod, the 83 overall, probably should have started Alden over him, but felt like with Rookie of the Year chance would have been a better candidate for developing and becoming a really high overall. Cobbs, cornerback into safety, he's been pretty good for us. Wish that zone was a little bit higher, but he might have already regressed again. The big thing with this rebuild that I think that could have been better, and it had nothing to do with us, is the DB development. The DB development traits did not go up one single time outside of free safety. I'm pretty sure Cobbs was the only DB in this rebuild that got a dev up. And it's really tough to develop players if they're only star or dev or even lower, and they're not getting upgrade points off of the dev ups either. It's just tough. It really is. James Woodley, I don't know why I looked at his dev. He was obviously a superstar pretty early on, but he was significantly lower than any of the other starting corners, so we just didn't start him. Let's take a look at Johnny Walker now, who's obviously he's 31 years old. The age is catching up, but he's still really good. had another really good season as well. Let's take a look at Albert. 95 overall now, 2 years younger. Really good power move guy. I mean, we got some pretty damn good edge rushers. Let's take a look now at the DT. John Ricard, the 20-year-old at the time, 99 finesse, 84 block shed, really good strength and everything. He really developed nicely. I mean, that was a hell of a draft pick, though, in fairness. And then Peterson will go with 2 power rusher upgrades and then see what he's looking like already as a young defensive tackle on this team. 84 overall. Really weak power move, but 82 block shed. Looks like he's got a high upside coming along. Oh, actually, Dawson. I forgot about Raphael Dawson, 87 overall. Short route's kind of iffy. That's kind of the one thing you would want him to be good at as the slot. But either way, that is going to be what I would consider basically a failed rebuild. Yes, we made it to the championship round a few times. We made it to the Super Bowl once. But in a 10-year rebuild, I feel like it's almost like you have to at least win a Super Bowl for it to be considered a positive one. The Panthers are just not. They don't like us. The Panthers don't like us, and it's probably because we talk crap. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's actually take a look at some of the stats and whatnot. It's 10 years down the line. There's got to be some numbers that we're missing here, if you will. Let's take a look at the career numbers real quick as well. Bryce Young, his picks thrown are really low, though, right? 56 picks thrown out of 347 touchdowns is unbelievable. Yards are a bit low, too, though. With passer rating, 117. Yards per attempt, 8.4. They sacked 258 times already. Brooks, 113 touchdowns, 14,601 yards with a 4.7 yards per carry average, which is really good. Porter's been damn good. Martinez has been all right. Brooks with some receiving numbers. Dawson, pretty young in the league. Badgley, first year, obviously. Blocking, a couple of guys with 38, 39. Defensively, let's take a look at those sacks. Walker, kind of nearing the end of his career here, 31 years old. Only 97 sacks, which isn't amazing. But it almost comes out to like 10 per year, which is pretty good. Albert, almost 10 per year. He did have that rookie year where he was DT2 and did nothing, so that obviously hurt him a little bit. Ricard, he's a DT, so you can't really blame him. Picks, really low picks. This team was probably the lowest takeaway team we've had in a rebuild in some time, and it definitely shows. Looking at the record, how many people are in their career going to be higher? You got Jonathan Taylor's 18,779. Taylor is 194 for touchdowns. Got a couple of guys for catches. Jefferson close on yards. IU close on touchdowns. Sacks, TJ Watt cooked up with 215. And that's pretty much that. Season numbers don't really care too much because that is like the ultimate in one-off type of awards and whatnot. I still don't agree with this whole rankings. They said we were the number 1 offense, and I just don't see it. We were terrible again when it mattered most, and ultimately we'll end the rebuild without a Super Bowl win. But like I said, if you guys still did enjoy, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I do appreciate continued support on the channel. I don't know. I think I probably would have held this off until after College Football 25 officially released, so I'm not sure when you're even going to see this. This might actually be one of the longest videos I hold on to. Normally, when I make a video, from the end recording, it's always uploaded within 2-3 days, maybe. But this one might be a week wait or longer. Depends on what kind of happens with College Football 25. It's going to be a grind. There's going to be a lot of content to make. So we'll see what happens. I just want to have this edited and ready to go in case I want to upload something that's not just one game, which is ironic as hell. But regardless of when you see this, should still be one more 10-year rebuild, which will probably be our Bison's franchise rebuild before Madden 25 comes out. But yeah, in between, there's going to be a lot of content, mainly College Football 25, I imagine. But either way, hopefully you guys do come back for that. Enjoy it. And until next video, see